What's good, y'all? It's Sean Peter Blunt Guide, and I'm here today again
Mhm.
with YouTuber Best Generations. What up, Best Gen?
Yeah, thank you for having me. What's up? Everybody have a good evening, night, day, wherever you are. Best generation here, and I think we're gonna have a good show.
Yeah, yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
another thing, we are expecting ELiDZ to show up in the stream.
hmm
I talked to him. He said he won't be on time, a little late. So,
hmm
that's going to be seen. When he
Yeah.
does get here. He said,
Part of life.
yeah, yeah.
hmm
It was kind
hmm
of last minute with ELiDZ, like originally
hmm
is me, Best Gen, but I feel as though Best Gen and ELiDZ kind of need to,
They need to meet.
you guys need to
You
meet
stated.
and
Yeah.
talk. We got Cube in
hmm
the building. He said one
hmm
of these days it will be my turn. Let's go. Hey, look, man.
Let's go.
I'll have you on one day. I've been thinking about some ways
hmm
to add to my channel, and I might get you guys involved, right? Might have
hmm
every after every reaction, I might get you guys in here, something along that line.
hmm
Q said I can see it now. Bluff best G, ELiDZ, and Q in a cinema near you. Hey, shout out to Cube. Shout out to Cube.
Definitely.
So
hmm
before I get into that, make sure y'all like the stream as well.
hmm
Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit that bell for notifications. Also, go check out Best Generations. His channel will be in the link. We will have the link to his channel below in the description box, as well as ELiDZ. You know, so
hmm
even if he doesn't show up, I know a lot of y'all might want to go check his channel out as well. But
Everybody like to stream.
yeah, what he
Or
said.
just
I
next. Mhm.
definitely what he
Gotta
said.
do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
all right. So, talking about kind of leaving off from where we left off yesterday, right? There was a bunch of topics
Mhm.
that we considered, or that we left off that we never got to talk about, right? So, I want
That's
to
right.
let you start the
Mhm.
stage off with maybe something you
Mhm.
want to talk about that we didn't get
Mhm.
to talk about just yet, right? So, uh,
Yeah. I wanted to actually ask you about like a Vivi connection to emo. Because I think you might have noticed this too. Like we probably overanalyzed this emo scene 100 times. Like we went on those 3 pages and looked at
mm,
them 100 times. Like they're so meaningful. We still have to like wrap our mind around it. You can draw more and more from that stuff. But I think like most people recognize that like there's something with Vivi, right? Where
mm-hmm.
like emo has like Vivi, the post like looking at it longingly, not destroying it like Poseidon or Shiroshi, Luffy, and Blackbeard. So what do you think is up with the poster situation? What's up with Vivi? How do you explain
uh,
that?
okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I could interpret that in a couple ways, right? Like, cause I don't
Mm-hmm.
have a surefire theory on this. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like something I really thought about. But now that you asked me, I do kind of have some ideas. I think one idea is that maybe the importance of her family's bloodline, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
they were part of the 20 kingdoms, you know,
Mm-hmm.
around like when the 20 kingdoms pretty much formed against the ancient kingdoms. They were one
That's
of
right.
the 20 kingdoms, right? And
Mm-hmm.
but they were the only family that pretty much didn't want to go off to a with the celestial dragons, right? They wanted to
Mm-hmm.
stay
Tomorrow draw.
with the
Mm-hmm.
commons, right? Exactly,
Yeah,
with the
that's right.
Marjoy, yeah.
Yeah.
So it could be maybe her bloodline factor and how
Mm-hmm.
it could, if like, let's say it's not in check, maybe it's a influential type of bloodline, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe she has a very important bloodline, and
Mm-hmm.
if it was to ever go against the world government, it could possibly be like a threat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I'm thinking maybe a lineage thing, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
maybe she, her bloodline is a threat to the world government as enemies,
Mm-hmm.
or or now
Mm-hmm.
Now this, this is just something I kind of thought about that idea that I played with,
Mhm.
and I'm not the only person who I'm sure there's theories out there. I know there's theories out there about this because I think I've seen it.
Mhm.
Or she could be a ancient weapon. You know what I'm saying? Like remember I think you even said like Luffy could possibly be an ancient weapon. Or no,
Mhm.
I'm not sure
Mhm.
if it was you. Like somebody said
Mhm.
I feel as though it was you when you said that he has like the how Shirahoshi can is the
Yeah.
ancient weapon to command Sea Kings. Luffy
Yeah, it
commands
seems to
humans,
be,
right?
yeah, that the voice of all creation, it
Mm-hmm.
is basically an ancient weapon. So even if Joy Boy or Luffy is not technically an ancient weapon, he technically is an ancient weapon in a certain way because that's basically the same ability.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I said something on these lines.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so if we
Mhm.
think of it like, Luffy possibly being an ancient weapon, right?
Mhm.
Uh cuz when we look at Alabasta,
Mhm.
we talk about how Pluton was pretty much in Alabasta. That's at least what Crocodile thought about, right?
That's where you're going. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And
Mhm.
maybe she's not
Mhm.
Pluton, maybe she's Uranus, but
Mhm.
maybe the idea of an ancient weapon being in Alabasta at that time could still be somewhat legitimate. And
Mhm.
because when we think of Eam, like who did he have? Like all the pictures that he had, right? He had Luffy, Blackbeard,
Mhm.
Vivi, and if I remember correctly, because I might be wrong, was it not Shirahoshi?
Yes, Shirahoshi.
Shirahoshi. Okay.
Mhm.
Now Shirahoshi is pretty much confirmed as an ancient weapon. You kind
Yeah.
like with your theory, you kind of
Mhm.
hinted at the fact that Luffy could be an ancient weapon,
Mhm.
and Vivi was also there. Now I don't know why
Yeah.
Teach. Now that could also imply that Teach could be an ancient weapon as well, but I'm not going that far. But maybe
There
Vivi
is
was there
something
too.
strange with Blackbeard though. Now that you say it, Blackbeard does something up with him. Like he's not sleeping, he's not dreaming. He might have
Yeah,
a similar situation with like having two souls or two wills in him with
yeah,
the bag. There
yeah.
might be a Voldemort situation. There might be a bending of will stuff. There's the whole connection with Teach being introduced at Drum Island, the island of liberation. That looks like drums. Dun, 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 dun,
Mm.
dun. If you haven't noticed, that's a thing too.
Let me ask you
Mm-hmm.
something. Let me ask you something about pertaining to this since we're kind of talking about ancient weapons. Do
Mm-hmm.
you believe? Uh, do you believe that there's potentially more than just those three ancient weapons, or was it pretty much like saying like, oh, there is only? Because maybe I'm missing somewhere in
Yeah.
the chapters that it's only three ancient weapons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there couldn't be any
Named
more.
after gods, which is interesting too,
Yeah.
because that's kind of a subtle thing. Because it kind of recognizes that there are actually gods in the One Piece world, and the people who named the ancient weapons named them after gods, so after people who lived in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the name and implies inherited will to a certain extent, like deeper themes of One Piece, and that people are gods basically. That's already confirmed in like so many different ways.
Okay.
But yeah, I want to go with somewhere. The question was, I think, that more than three ancient weapons, right? If
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
like the thesis. And I actually had an idea about this, or this was already like 3 years ago. Still, I think on Oral Jackson, the old days. Um, because I never understood the difference between Momonosuke and Poseidon. Like
Yeah.
it just doesn't make sense because they're like the exact same ability, just like access to a different wavelength. But otherwise, they're the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So does it mean that Momonosuke is
An ancient weapon.
an ancient weapon,
Yeah.
Pluton or Uranus? But why not reveal it's Uranus? Why it's still a mystery? Why doesn't it feel like Uranus? Like why
Yeah.
doesn't it even feel like Zonisha is Uranus? Why is it not implied or something? And it just doesn't make sense
Yeah.
unless Oda is like red herring, I think it's called, with the ancient weapons, that he like makes this big deal out of it
Mm-hmm.
because he makes maybe a point that ancient weapon is propaganda that is used by the world government So
Oh,
we think it's like this big fucking deal, but this is just like what they use to trick us into believing they are a threat. They
yeah.
just named this dude ancient weapon, or oh, there's this thing called Poseidon that can destroy the world, and at the end it's just like a nice fishman princess. So it's
Yeah,
like maybe that's part of the point where it's like revealed the ancient weapons is not actually danger, it's maybe just an ability, all of that stuff, and more people can be Poseidon,
that's interesting.
Pluton, or whatever.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check the chat out real quick. We got Cube says check ELiDZ at Best G. They've got the light. I'm on or ELiDZ said he's on the way.
Mm-hmm.
This was a couple
Let's
minutes ago,
go.
so he's probably
Mm-hmm.
much closer.
Mm-hmm.
Cube says I might have an idea. I guess he's talking about the what we were just talking about. I think it's linked to why the Nefertiti ancestors who chose to refuse going to marry Joa. I think
Mm-hmm.
he's more obsessed on why they refused her slash him. Talking about Emu.
I like that take.
Uh,
I like that take.
yeah, not to mention that Emu might be the true god, so could have felt a mental trauma or something, similar to how Kaido is hung up on how he went against Odin.
I just thought that is actually a fantastic idea, right? From Cube with the Wave or Emo being obsessed with like the Nefertari line because he has maybe realized, wait a second, these bastards, they have tricked me. They are on Joyboy's side. Now I've got to realize it. Wait a second, he connected the dots. She
Yeah,
made the friend with Luffy in the current timeline. He has the straw hat. He saw it in the bunker, or Emo saw it in the bunker, be like, what the shit? These
yeah,
bastards tricked me, they're traitors. And now he's like trying to, how they say, interrogate and capture Vivi. Of course, Vivi was captured. She probably wasn't killed.
mm-hmm.
She probably was captured. Like, and then nobody knows why she was captured. And this is like a political scandal.
Or
So
maybe
that makes
maybe King Nefertiti was the one who was killed.
mm,
Maybe
right.
Sabo
And he basically
saved Vivi.
confirmed it.
Yeah, maybe.
And he basically confirmed it because he goes there and he's like asking them questions. To be like, what the shit? Now this dude is asking question. He asking
Yeah,
questions.
yeah.
Oh,
And there was some.
good take by Cube.
Yeah, I was also going. I was gonna say something, but I kind of forgot.
Mhm.
But
So,
nah, you good. You're good. It's all good. It's all good.
mhm,
Poggy, we got Poggy Biscuit in the building. Welcome
mhm.
to the stream, Poggy Biscuit. He says if you count the blueprints, there's another one. It's not Pluton. It's the defense.
Mhm.
So,
I think he's referring to the popular idea that Pluton is not actually an ancient weapon.
mm-hmm.
It's the thing that was this ship, or the ship that we have assumed to be Pluton is not Pluton. These are like blueprints of a weapon that counteracts Pluton.
Yeah,
So that's what it is. And it's not actually Pluton, and Pluton is something else, like a person.
okay. Yeah, I've kind of thought about that. I kind of because I play with the idea of Zoe possibly,
Mhm.
right? Because if
I
you
like
look
to
at
play with it
Zunisha,
too.
it's kind of a big ship because it moves across the ocean, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it can be steered,
Mm-hmm.
by somebody like Mama Nosuke. So
And I can't help to think that Luffy is Uranus. I don't know why. This idea just doesn't get out of my head. I have
yeah,
this, I don't know why. I totally believe it. It's irrational. It kind of makes sense maybe like on a subjective level with like the god of the sky. The
yeah,
sun is the greatest god of the sky. That is like known. Like the pantheon of like religions, mythology, the sun is the supreme god.
yeah,
And it's the god of the sky. So I don't know. In my head, I just like the idea.
yeah. I know what I
Mhm.
remember. What I wanted to say.
Mhm.
Yes, like an emu. Like when you guys talked about how the Nefertiti family pretty much betrayed Emu,
Mhm.
and that's probably why
Yes.
they betrayed him back in the ancient, like in the at least the
Mhm.
Void Century timeish or the ancient web,
Mhm.
like the ancient kingdom, because
Mhm.
it's like why do their country have a poneglyph?
Mm.
When you think
We
about
know
it,
it for a fact, yes.
right?
We know it.
Same with well, I mean, Sky P is not really associated with the
Mm.
20 Kingdoms. I was it not Dressrosa? Did they not have a poneglyph as well? Dressrosa?
No, actually not. And that
Okay,
makes
all
sense,
right,
right?
yeah. So,
That makes extra sense, yeah.
but Alabasta is one of the 20, probably one of like the
Mhm.
only kingdom from the 20 kingdoms that
Mhm.
has a
The only
poneglyph,
one.
right?
And by the way, the Gorosei concluded that they are traitors. And when this mystery was brought up in Alabasta with Cobra and Robin, they have like this conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and Robin gets upset at Cobra for thinking that they're protecting here something for the kings or the world government. She's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? You are not doing that. The world government is killing the people who are researching this." So
Yeah.
she got upset, flippant about it, that Cobra didn't understand the true history, that he was like thinking from the perspective of the world government, but that they have the pornoglyph proves that it is that they are on the other side, or have been fighting on the other side.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's ignorant.
All
Mhm. So
right.
yeah.
All right. So just so we can move on, get to some more of these topics, because
Mhm.
I know you.
I have a question.
Let's go.
I don't know. I think I didn't ask this. Emo or Blackbeard for the final villain? This is like an age-old one.
Oh.
This is an age-old one. I'm a little bit solid on this subject, but I would love just to hear your opinion because if you have a different opinion, I want to know how and break it down.
All right.
Mhm.
Hold on. Let me read the chat, and I'm going to answer it because we
Mhm.
got Shane in the building. Shane Burns says, "Who's the guy on the left, man? Who's the guy on the left? That's best generation right there.
Mhm.
YouTube One Piece YouTube content creator, man. He's a I got a link of his channel in the description box, so you gotta go check him
What's
out,
up, my
man.
man?
And Cube says
Wait a second. I
Blackbeard.
think I know this guy. I think I know Shane, but the name sounds familiar. Maybe he's messing with me. He's trolling.
He could be. He could be. He could be. He says, "Oh, okay," like kind of like he's not trolling, but I don't know. Cube says
Okay.
Blackbeard final villain. Huh.
Mhm.
Okay, so I think I think it might be Eam as the final villain. Why? Okay.
Mm.
I don't think finding the One Piece is the end all be all of the story, right?
Mm.
Why don't I think that? Because I think me personally, I'm kind of the same mind of Arthur, Library of Ohio, to a degree. Now in the Saki part,
Mm. Mm.
I think Saki is an important as far as
Mm.
symbolism in the One Piece uh, world, but I don't know. I don't think the One Piece is going to be Saki, right? But
Mm.
I think one thing that's going to be there on Laugh Tale is pretty much this plan, this strategy on unifying the world. That's where
Mhm.
they're pretty much going to figure out, okay, we gotta destroy the red line somehow. You know,
Yeah.
and I think in order to get the One Piece and actually, I think Blackbeard and Luffy are going to fight for the One Piece, right?
Mhm.
And then after that fight, the winner is pretty much going to win the One Piece and rights to the One Piece and everything there, right?
Mhm.
All the treasure there, which come to find out the One Piece is going to be like maybe some treasure, but also this idea of unifying the
Multiple
world.
parts.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it could be
Mhm.
multiple things, right?
Mhm.
So after that, after they put it pretty much the whole One Piece arc at finding One Piece, they're going to have to succeed at unifying this world, and that's when I think they're going to be
Mhm.
resisted by the world government,
Mhm.
and then that's when this big war happens. That's when Eam might end up being the final villain. I know a lot of people thought Akainu, but
Mhm.
I don't know if he might be like a
Yeah.
smaller villain, right?
Yeah, I didn't ask for it, but you give me a present anyways. I agree with this take as well. You basically said everything I am agreeing with. Like, you got it spot on. You got it spot on.
Yeah, yeah.
Telling you, this guy knows, man. This guy knows what's
So
up.
so you that's pretty much everything I said, or
Yeah, it's like I think he even referred to the like Whitebeard speech with like One Piece being found, and then we're gonna challenge the world. So it's kind of
mm,
like set up. And from like a narrative perspective, it makes sense like that the Pirate King is decided first, and then
yeah,
with Pirate King, the second goal, changing the world, the new dawn.
yeah,
It's like all kind of foreshadowed. Like it would be like a plot twist if it would be different, which I would like, I guess. But I
yeah,
think from like the safe assumption, just reading the story from like a logical like stepping upward to the world government ultimately, I agree with that take. And then you trashed Akaino, which I like. Because Akaino now, if you think about it, Luffy can probably beat Akaino pretty soon. I still believe Akaino is stronger than Kaido. I don't know, people hate these takes with like admirals being stronger than
Oh, you
Yonko,
believe
but
that?
I totally believe that. I'm like, are you
Uh,
kidding me? Like, haven't you seen how fucking good the admirals are? They become like cleaner every week, man. Every week they become like stronger and stronger. Like people are
yeah,
like, what the? These guys, they were the shit.
yeah.
Hmm?
I mean, I
You
have
don't
to
agree
do.
with that?
I would
You don't
have to
like the
probably.
admirals?
I'll probably disagree with that. It's not that I don't like the
I
admirals,
like
but
that.
I just don't know. I don't know if they're better than the yet. I don't know. You
Yeah.
know, like
Hmm.
I think I don't know. I don't know, but
Hmm.
I kind of wanted to say. I wanted.
I'm derailing it,
I
but I
wanted to.
still want to go there.
No, that's fine, and I'll go there. But I just want to step on the tape. I just kind of want to talk about a tape real
Hmm.
quick. Uh,
Hmm.
I think it could go different if Blackbeard's ultimate goal isn't the One Piece.
Mm.
Then maybe I think it could go differently because, like, is it is the One Piece indeed like Blackbeard's ultimate goal? Like, has
No,
Blackbeard said it? Like, has Blackbeard ultimately said like, "Oh, I
I
want to be the
think
Pirate King" or whatever?
he never mentioned the One Piece. I think he mentioned that he wants to become part of his plan to become Pirate King.
Yeah,
And then the second thing he said that he wants to conquer the entire world.
that's
So be the king of the world.
and
That's like the
that's what I
stated goal.
think. Yeah, that's what I think Blackbeard's
Yeah.
goal is, right? Kind of like
Mhm.
Zebek, right? Kind of like
He
Zebek.
wants to become Emo. That's why I said all these three people are moon people. Emo has already achieved the goal in the past during the Void
Yeah.
Century. She's immortal. I think you know the catch, you know the drift. Or you
Uh-huh.
probably agree with it, right? That Emo's probably immortal. Does it make sense to you?
Immortal. I
Yeah.
think there's a I think he's I don't know if he's immortal in the sense where he can't be killed, but I don't think he can die from natural age. So in that aspect,
Yes,
I do believe
I
he
agree with that.
is probably
Mm-hmm.
immortal. You know, 'cause
Mm-hmm.
I think he's probably been around. I think he might be like an old adversary of Joy Boy, right? Like I think
Mm-hmm.
that could be possible. He could be even as far as Nika, right? Like he could have been a. Now I know that might be a stretch, but he could
You
have.
don't even know my craziest theory. I don't think we didn't watch a video. I thought you know that I think that Emu, and this sounds now insane. You probably didn't heard this ever. I honestly think that Emu is the twin of Joy Boy. I think that is
Oh, okay.
the perfect like mirroring the male, the female, Joy Boy and Emu.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
moon, the sun, they have the same blood, they have the same voice of
Okay,
creation, they were
kind of
born at
like
the same time.
Ashura and what was his name? Like from Naruto, the two brothers.
Exactly. And then one is immortal, Emu. And by the way, I think Joyboy had the Opi Opi no Mi. I honestly believe too that Nika and Joyboy are two different
Oh
people,
boy.
even though that sounds unlikely right now. This sounds crazy. This is
Like
like my
Joy Boy
craziest takes.
sacrificed himself for Eam or something.
I think that is the perfect way to finish the Void Century. He's like, dude, I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm gonna kill myself and prove you somebody like me will come and defeat you. And you have a fantasy. Your dream
Mm-hmm.
can't be right. And then there comes the quote in from like chapter 100, inherited will, the dreams of its people, the destiny of the age. As long as people
That's
pursue the
interesting.
meaning of freedom, these things will never cease to be. And these are like Joyboy's last words. And then with Luffy, they have been like finalized and
You
like
know,
everything comes together.
it'd be wild if Eam is kind of a tragic character. Like if he's like
Ah,
he almost had to take up that mantle and kind of be the bad guy for, you know what I'm saying, and eventually get beaten. And he knows he has to get beaten, but like I don't really
yeah.
know if that makes
I,
sense. Like,
I think actually it will be a subversion because I think Oda knows by how to say by him acknowledging Luffy's character that he will be the one who like brings change. It means necessarily that he acknowledges that times necessarily need to change.
yeah,
So Emo being the character who like is hung up on things not changing, I think that's
yeah,
like the perfect way to like have like this mirroring going on. Where like Luffy like lives in his lifetime, he lives to the fullest, states openly he's a pirate king, he wants openly his dream, lives his life, and then dies, risks it. Emo's like the complete opposite.
yeah,
Hidden, darkness, not openly a king, nobody knows about it, all this shady shit associated to the moon.
yeah.
It's like that's how I see Emo and like as a mirroring to Luffy.
Let me get some of these chat reads real quick. And
Mhm,
hey man,
mhm,
y'all hit that like button here so we could we could
mhm.
make that algorithm. You know what I mean? Get
That's
that
right.
exposure. You know what I'm saying? So uh
Mhm.
Shane Burns said I've subbed him. So
Mhm.
Shane said, so yeah, you know, best generation. Yeah,
Mhm.
he said he
Mhm.
sub to you, so he probably just don't recognize you, right? So
Yeah.
you know, and it's kind of my fault.
It's goofy.
I don't have like your name. I need to put your name up so people can see. It's
Oh
just
no, you have my name up. I think featuring Best Generation. Am I
I
blind?
I just didn't want to put it up there because I know when ELiDZ come up, I'm gonna have to edit it again, and I didn't know he was gonna
Mm.
take this long. But
Oh.
anyway, uh, to continue, Q said he's supposed to be Luffy's mirror opposite. I guess talking
Mhm.
about Akainu, or not Akainu, Blackbeard.
Happy Emu or
Uh,
Emo? Yeah, Blackbeard too. I think they're
Shane,
all kind of mirroring. It's kind of interesting.
yeah, right. Shane says, Shane says Emu will be the final villain. Okay, yeah, we kind of. I disagree unless I feel as though there's might be a case to say Blackbeard may not be concerned about the One Piece or becoming Pirate King if he's shooting to become the king
Mm-hmm.
of the world. He might be looking to take
Mm-hmm.
out Emu as well, right? Because he might even
Yeah,
know about
it's
Emu.
part of his plan.
Yeah,
He probably knows.
so Blackbeard could be looking bigger, and if that's the case, I think yes, Blackbeard might indeed be the final villain. But if he's after
Mm-hmm.
the One Piece, if that's his biggest goal, I'm saying he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be like before Emu. Cube says I see him as villain after Emu. Blackbeard would be the last obstacle to change the dream into a reality. Blackbeard will try to create his dream into reality, which would be a nightmare more than anything. And then yeah, like I see if, and I kind of agree with that to a degree. If Blackbeard is trying to, if his dreams are like super, like king of the world level, yeah, I think he might be, he ain't trying to go for something small such as the Pirate King. Shane Burns says, where's ELiDZ? We're waiting. He he'll be here. He'll be here. Lucky. We got Lucky for F. Welcome to the stream, Lucky for F. He says, "What do you mean by moon people? Then
Oh.
why is he tied to Luffy's fruit? He being Joy Boy.
Mm.
I can't show up." And ELiDZ says, "I can't show up on time. I'm the shonen protagonist."
Mm-hmm. That's a luxury of being one.
Right. So he's asking, "What do you mean by moon people?" Right.
All right, yeah. I talked about this yesterday that like the will of D is not a singular will, so not only the will of the sun, like the Straw Hat, and like almost all the other D people we know in the story, but there are like moon people, so sun and moon people, and that the truth about the will of D is that it's a duality, a polarity, sun, moon, changing of times, all of that stuff, the mythology that we know of so many in the story.
Mm.
Mhm. So Emo, Blackbeard, and the back Moon people, they have the dream stated all, conquer the world, becoming the king of the world.
The
That's basically it. Controlling the
bars,
world.
bars. I
Thank
actually like that take. You say that in such a like well,
you.
well packaged. Like
I'm just going off.
I feel as though for me to have to explain what you just did so
Mhm.
simple, right?
Yeah.
I would have had to, it would have been like at least a small essay, right?
Thank you very much. This is like the toughest thing for me. So if you say that to me that I can explain things easily, that's like dream
Yeah.
come true. That's like my greatest problem, trying to explain it.
I like that though. The idea that the D is like a duality of the sun and the moon people. Because I've even said like I've
Mhm.
said I've said that they're like from the like that the D's are people from like the moon or something. Like they have some type of
Mhm.
relationship with the moon. I never even really considered the sun though, right? I never considered
Mhm.
the sun, but that
Mhm.
makes even more sense. That
Mhm.
makes even more sense. Like Eam could be a D for all we know. Maybe he kind of
100%.
maybe he rebelled against the other D's and made them the enemy, and try to be like the
And
ultimate D. You know what I'm saying?
this was stated with Dressrosa, like with this idea, like every single line you hear with like that's why maybe you're like, wait a second, this idea makes sense. Because like every single line where the D is brought up now makes sense. For example, with Corazon, when he says the D's are not evil, they are the enemies of the gods. And he even explains it perfectly. He says because of the perspective, from the perspective of the Celestial Dragons, the D's right now are their enemies because the current people, the current D's who are ruling are the Moon people. So all the other D's are like Sun people who oppose them. And
Yeah.
it's like a checkered fate. It's like, what does checkered refer to? It refers to like a
Like,
chess game or two different colors.
yeah.
So it's like to a duality it refers to even. So in a game of chess, you pick one side and then your enemy is the other side, and vice versa. And it's light, darkness. It's like literally every scene is explained if you understand that the Will of D is like a duality between two sides. It's
Yeah.
almost stated directly by Corazon, quite frankly.
Man.
That is the truth about it.
He said, seems like there's always a chaotic D, so Emu could have been a chaotic D. Yeah. And that's kind of word. That's kind of, and that will also probably be Blackbeard. You know what I'm saying?
Blackbeard wants to be one, and Luffy wants to be one right now. They are like
Zebek probably was up there.
Zebek tried to, and what's his face? Okay, Roger almost did it, and Dragon, of course, still. Dragon is also dragon and chaotic, or represents chaos.
Okay. All right, so but yeah, man, that was a deep topic. So let's try, because I know you got some more topics, and I know we ain't got that much time for you. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So I wanna ask, right? Something I kind of thought about yesterday, right? And I think I seen a YouTube. I seen a YouTube video that stated, I didn't watch it, but it you know, the title just kind of brought this idea up. And so before we got Wano, right? Before while Oda was kind of doing all his hyping up of Wano, he said something. He said we're going to get introduced to a lurking legend. Now,
the lurking legend.
Now, I guess a lot of times, you know, some people thought maybe Zebek, right? Zebek, and I think Zebek could be a candidate. You know, he's definitely a candidate. He definitely was introduced during this arc. But what about I think lately I've been kind of thinking maybe they were talking about Joy Boy, right? Maybe that lurking legend was Joy Boy, because he actually has a prominent he has a prominent role. You know, as of last chapter, he has a prominent role in the arc, the current era. You know, where Zebek just was talked about, right? We just kind of got like some hints on Zebek flashbacks.
If you remember this, in 2018, was this during Wano, like in between the acts, Zebek was introduced? Do I remember correctly? Or was it right before Wano? Like one of the two?
He was introduced, I want to say he was introduced in that chapter where we got the bounties of Roger.
Exactly.
Whitebeard. And that was during Wano. That was like Act
one, in between the acts done.
Act 1 or Act 2, like one of those in between.
Okay, good.
Right?
Okay. But because at that time, who was introduced actually? Only like Oden, Kaido, but Kaido was even before introduced.
Yeah, Kaido was
Rocks.
Yeah, like Rocks, Zebek, Oden. I mean, Oden could have been it as well. You know what I'm saying? Because Oden is, but we get him in the flashback, right? We just Joy Boy, on the other hand, is a lurking legend that word, like, and if you just kind of take the word lurking legend, it kind of mean like he's still around, right? He's lurking, right? When you
like in Destroyer, you mean, or in his Luffy's body, he's lurking.
Yeah. When you look at lurking, you look at somebody who's there presently, but you may not necessarily be aware of, right? And that's kind of why I'm kind of dismissing Zebek and Oden, because they are legends, and yes, indeed. But you know, they're both dead. Now Zebek could be living in Blackbeard, but Blackbeard is not in the arc at the moment, at least.
I'm checking the list on the 800s.
Oh, you looking at the chapters?
Chapters? Almost got. It's like chapter 830.
Q said yes,
but I don't know. Look at that. I know I could take. I think I heard it from Arthur or somebody, but I forgot the take. I think I aligned with his thinking, but I forgot what his take was. Sad. We get a good one on that one.
Okay.
He said it. I explained it. I was like, yeah, that sounds good.
let me invite.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna invite. Oh, I think he's hopping in.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
send it.
defer to Arthur. That's my position on that one.
You defer to Arthur.
Yeah, he knows. I trust. He's a trusted source. Hmm? Mm,
uh,
I think
I
is he
don't.
up? I don't know.
I see him, but I don't know.
Mm.
He's. Hey, ELiDZ, you there?
Yeah, I think it's popping.
Hold on, I might have to pop out and then pop in because now I can't see his camera is.
Me neither. That's probably then a him issue. If you don't see it.
But yeah, but as for but what was he saying? I'm gonna just wait till he.
Yeah, the look in legend stuff. Like, what was your take? So Joybo was a possible candidate still,
I
but
think
that was
Joy.
about it, right?
I think Joy. Well, I think Odin is a candidate. I think
Hmm?
Cube said he said what about Emu? Emu actually could because he's currently in the story as well,
Right.
right?
That was it. I think that's what Arthur said. It was Emo. Emo was the perfect one, I think.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, it could. I'm trying to see if I could. I don't know what's going on with him, but
Hmm.
yeah. So it could be Emu, right? Because Emu
Yeah.
he's kind of around, right? He's lurking in the story. He's not.
Look, she's the greatest looker in human history, dude. She's like the One Piece lurker. Totally, 100%.
Lucky
Oh,
for said lurking just like the Panda Man.
that's right. Like only Panda Man, maybe.
Yeah, Panda Man is. I mean, he is a legend though. If we think about it,
That's
right?
right.
So
It's the only way to judge it.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with his thing. But
Dude,
yeah.
with the
So
good takes, he came in clutch. I totally forgot that one. I heard like a perfect explanation, and I think it was emo. Mhm. Okay, sounds better.
okay,
Yo,
now
what's up?
yeah, now he's
Mhm. Oh.
all right.
Yo, what's
So
up, Edith?
shout out to ELiDZ. We got ELiDZ in the chat. ELiDZ.
Mhm.
We
Woo.
got meet best generation meet ELiDZ.
Mhm.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, hey.
We're just
Dude, are you doing sports? That's my first question. You seem like a martial artist. I'm jealous. How are the ladies reacting? Like, I need to know, man. I need to know. Gotta tell me.
Well, I went to like 2 classes of martial arts, and this was when I was 8 years old.
Only, fuck. I'm only gonna say only today. It's gonna humble
And
flex.
when the class started, I was just joining. It was like
Mhm.
a fun activity. Everybody else had been there for like a year or two. And they did
Mhm.
this thing where you would run up and jump and kick this thing the teacher would hold in the air.
I
And it
love
was
that
like
shit as a
almost
kid.
like mocking in a way because the kids would never do it except me and my
Yeah.
brother. We actually did it.
Whoa.
And then we just left.
Yo.
And in hindsight, that's kind of badass. We went in their dojo, outshined them, and then just
That
left.
was such a flex right now. It was even
So
better
we
than
were
I
just
thought.
doing
What
it
the
for
fuck?
fun.
That was a plot twist. What the heck? I thought it was going
But
downhill. I'm like, I'm bad at martial artists, but then turns out I came there on first day. I did like destroyed the teacher basically, destroyed all
mhm.
the children, and he just left. And then you can't teach me anything, Sensei. That was a perfect one. That
Now,
was
in
a
terms of
perfect
the
start.
ladies, I have a fiance, but she's in Canada,
Whoa.
so we
the
don't live together at the moment. But
Okay, I knew there was
we'll
something.
exchange very soon.
What's up? Hmm. Ah, the lady issue, the lady issue. Do you believe me? I'm an incel. I don't hit with the ladies. Can you believe it? No, you can't, right? You can.
Find it hard to believe that.
Yeah, I find
No.
that hard to believe.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Liar,
Like,
liar. All right,
no,
yo.
it's all
So
good. I'm a TikTok star in truth. I'm an e-boy. Me and Justin Bieber, we good. We like tweeting all the time. Just saying, just a humble flex.
hey,
He's
so
like, he
ELiDZ.
wants to hear about One Piece from me. Then I'm like,
I kind of want your opinion because
hmm?
he you just said something like best generation like
Hmm?
I want to say about 10 minutes
Hmm?
ago that it was like I was like man What was it? I said like it was
With the will of
how
D.
you simplified it. Yeah, the moon people, the moon, sun people.
I
Yeah.
love that concept.
Okay. Yeah. You think you heard it yesterday too? It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's like so simple. That's why I like it too. It's like just the sun and the moon. Will of D
Mm-hmm.
is our duality. Like the whole, like the quote, inherited world, dreams of its people, destiny of the age. Like the sun and moon applies to all three of those. And as
Mm-hmm.
long as people pursue the meaning of freedom, these things will never cease to be. So being like free, you can like change the times, going from the sun era to the moon era. That's like a prerequisite. That's why Blackbeard believes in absolute freedom. But his freedom is like I can do whatever I want. My freedom supersedes everybody else's freedom, and like
Mm-hmm.
Luffy is like kind of the reverse. So that's how like, and the current mentality of the world is like this moon mentality. That's like what Kid
Mm-hmm.
says when he trashes like the world government. You guys are bastard. You are the reason we are so shit because it comes from
Mm-hmm.
you. He's basically saying it.
Hey, shout out
So
to Lucky for
it's
F,
like
man.
it all kind of makes sense.
He just subscribed. Sorry, Best Gen. I just gotta shout him out because he just subscribed. Lucky for F. Shout out to him.
Yo.
Appreciate the subscription, bro. I don't know, bro, sis. I'm sorry. Appreciate that. But yeah, go ahead. My bad.
No, I think Cube is flaming me because I have like a hot take on Sanji. Because I think like most people, they don't know that like acting like Sanji, like the message behind this character, because Sanji is like the ultimate simp. He's like the enabler of
Mm-hmm.
women. He's like the enabler of women, like of bad behavior. Like he forgives them everything. They can literally kill him, and he's fine with
Yeah.
it. And that's a problem. Like Oda's like critiquing man with Sanji's character, which I love. It's like his greatest critique is like these fucking simps. Stop simping for women. Stop simping. It will kill you. It will break. It will. It's a suicide mission. Stop already. Stop. He would have died at Whole Cake Island for nothing. Literally for nothing. Like that's how crazy it is.
I agree
So
to an
yeah.
extent. Like I would say he's both highlighting and also showing the detriment. I think it's both. Because on one hand, he's saying
Oh, that's
Sanji has
correct.
such strong conviction that he will do what he believes in, even if at the cost of his life, even at the cost of his tail. Like his tail
Mhm.
is his journey with the Straw
Mhm.
Hats. Now, if he loses and it causes the Straw Hats to lose, that's more than just his life. It's
Mhm.
everything really that loses. That's just how
Mhm.
strong Sanji's conviction is. Now, whether or not that's good or bad, well, it's good that he's so has
Mhm.
such strong conviction. It's bad because
Mhm.
what happens to the story then? I mean, that
Yeah.
sucks. Like we don't want that. Sanji doesn't want that. So it's
Mhm.
like a double-edged sword. I would say
Mhm.
it's sort of praising, but at the same time shitting on it at the same time.
But now that you explained it, I'm like, I'm not seeing the praising really. I'm really not seeing the praising. Like, it's never like in a positive. Okay, is it praising at the end? Okay, he
Somewhat, I
got like this
think, but
rose.
like with the
It kind of
way,
makes
let's
sense.
look at with the Black Maria thing.
Wait, you're
And
actually right. You're actually right. Though you can still say the Black Maria stuff, but I think you're right because at the end of Whole Cake Island, we see like that the mentality of helping others, so still believing
mm-hmm,
in them, and like the good of human, still is
mm-hmm.
so vital and important that a human still has to have that over like pragmatism and what's like good for the mission. So yeah, I think that point is being made too. I agree. Mhm. Mhm.
I'm about
The
to
Black Maria.
dabble in this whole. I'm gonna transition
Mhm.
that to dabbling into my
Mhm.
chakra theory, which is
Yo.
Sanji's character is that he's so caring, so kind, and so emotional. And
Mhm.
there's the good in that and there's the bad in that. He's too emotional that it could get him in trouble, but his also emotions grants him great things. Like look at the Viola thing. If
Mhm.
Viola looked into Sanji's spirit and saw that he was just some lustrous jackass, she wouldn't want
Mhm.
him. She wouldn't want to help him out. But because she saw
Mhm.
how kind and big-hearted he was, that changed her whole perspective. So
Mhm.
Sanji is someone who's very in tune with his heart. And I think that is a huge indication, not just Sanji as a person, but the way One Piece works in general, is
Mhm.
your heart determines a lot of who you are and your personality, but also your powers, because that's what a shonen is. It's about powers. And I think Oda's using this medium of showing a shonen to show these cool abilities, but also there's a deeper story to it where it's these abilities correlate with who these people are. and you can learn a lot from that.
Mhm.
So your video is mind blowing to me.
Mhm.
One, in the sense of how detailed and how much research you put into it, but also on a personal
Thank you.
level, because so much of what you said, I've been saying. So to see someone else say it
Mhm.
is just like it's
Vindicated,
also
right? It's like
vindicating.
vindication.
Exactly.
It's like
It's just
that's how I
great to
feel
see
too.
someone else came to that conclusion. So I must be onto something if someone else can see those things
Mhm.
with the
Mhm.
power of emotions. So one of the things I say is that Sanji is most in tune with the heart chakra. There's
Mm.
7 chakras. I'll just go up: root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus, heart chakra, throat chakra, the
Mhm.
third eye chakra, and the crown chakra. Sanji, I believe,
That's my
is in
boy
that
right there.
heart
That's the
chakra.
joy boy chakra, by the way. The crown chakra. It's the joy boy chakra.
Exactly.
That's on the
It-
wavelength that I am too.
you are so spot on.
Mm-hmm.
For Luffy, I would argue, I feel like the most his might be the throat, his
Mm-hmm.
voice. But
Mm.
Luffy's just so unique in the sense that when I look at his character, because I try to analyze all the characters in these throat and all that stuff. When I look at his character, he almost fills almost every category. It's kind of insane with
Mm.
Luffy. I think, but that's what makes him so special. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
tracing
shoot
back to
blank.
Moon People,
Mm. Uh, I think I
I
have a
love that
question maybe
concept.
like wait a second, sorry. You
Why?
love that concept? I don't want to talk the whole time about like stuff that we talked about. That's why it's like I don't want to go pop off. Do the one out.
Yeah.
How do you say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I'm going crazy when I go there. I'm like already.
I just wanted to give
Uh,
my own personal take, like what my
mm,
reaction to it. And I
Yeah.
can go
okay, good.
deep into it and stuff. Just
Mm,
as a viewer, my reaction
mm,
to it is it.
mm.
I started with Naruto
Makes
first.
sense.
A lot of my
Yeah, see,
theorizing.
that's a parallel. That's the it's like all the same, right? You realize like all the
Hmm.
fucking series are all the same basically. It's like even
Yeah,
like Game
in
of
fact,
Thrones,
in
it's
some
the
of my
same. Matrix even
in
is the
my
same
understanding
kinda.
hockey series, at some points I referenced literally theories I used in Naruto because it was applicable.
Mhm.
And when you say the moon and sun people, it makes me think of in Naruto, like I think Sean already
Mhm.
started with Ashura and Indra. But it's deeper than just Ashura and Indra. It's deeper than just the reincarnations of uh, Hashirama and uh,
His brother.
Madara.
Oh,
Even other people
oh,
who
I'm
may
like,
not be a reincarnation fall
Mhm.
into those categories. And you know this
Mhm.
because if you look at Obito when he became a Sage of Six Path, he got a staff.
Mhm.
Yet his
Mhm.
staff looked different than Madara's. Madara had a
Mhm.
staff that represent the moon. Obito had a staff that represent the sun because
I didn't
that's
even
who
notice that.
Obito is.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's who he is. He's more like Naruto than he is like
Ah, he's from the
Sasuke.
Fire Village. Right, right. Still right.
So
He still had the
he
Wall of
is
Fire
a
at the end.
sun, he has like that sun type of
Mhm.
personality, that sun type of being. So
Obi-
that's
Mhm.
why his staff, even though he's an Uchiha, so he
Obi-
comes from Indra, but who he
Obito's
is deep
like
down is bigger than just lineage.
Obito's
Mhm.
like Anakin, and he's like
It's
Anakin,
true. It's
and
true.
then
It's so true. The
Madara's like
Empire
Darth
Hmm.
Sidious, and then
can't unsee it.
Luke is Naruto. But let me
Mhm.
read some of
Yeah.
these chats.
Mhm.
Cube said because it's lurking in a sense that's when we was talking about the whole lurking legend thing. Then we got, or Q said, a protagonist has arrived. Moon God ELiDZ.
Mhm.
Best G is actually a Sanji, so he calling you. No, he called me
See, that's what I
Blackbeard.
referred to before.
He called
That
me
was
Blackbeard
total
yesterday.
slander, total slander. He knows my opinion on Sanji. He knows it. So it was a little dig, a little dig. But it's all right. It's all right.
Shay said, "Yo,
Mhm.
ELiDZ made it." Yeah, he did. He did. Cube did start laughing at that though. That's why he knew that.
Mhm. No,
Lucky
he's just
Forever
messing.
says, "Bro," and they said, "So is Luffy a Sunday and Blackbeard is a Moondy?" That's what Lucky
Mm.
Forever pretty much just said.
Mundi.
Uh, and Q says, "I like the crown chakra. Crowns are important on One Piece. I like to have ELiDZ take on Emu's crown. It's got an interesting shape, and the Revolutionary Army have it on their Jolly Roger."
You was today in a live call, and there was this one guy, Adam, who did like my logo, and he like popped the fuck off for like 2 hours. He has seen connections that I've made even that like I never told anybody about, and he just made them. Like he went into the danger zone, dude. So and like he went even into Revolutionary Army, being like Emo's crown. You can like totally see it. Like there's even the Marine flag in the Revolutionary Army. There, like the Mao. It's like he went just off, man.
And the world government,
yeah.
their flag looked like red robe poneglyphs pointing to Laugh Tale, personally. So
Yeah,
but
a lot of different takes, and of course a cross, Jesus Christ.
yeah, that's true.
That's right.
So yeah,
Well, this is news to me, so I can't give my take on the crown. I'll have to look into that. I mean, I have theories about how the Revolutionary Army could be connected to the Marines and stuff like that, but yeah, about the crown, I'm gonna have to check that out.
All right.
By the way, the like sun and moon idea also explains. I have, by the way, a 35-minute video on it, representation, all. Even I'm probably this my video I'm most proud of because it's basically facts in my opinion. It's like 95% facts, 5% speculation. It's like so clean in that view. But with the like will of D, you understand like that the current time that we live in is like the moon era, and the like revolutionaries are like sun people who like are like an established thing that goes against the moon people. And then you need like a third entity that is Luffy, who needs to like tip the balance. And that's why he's like represented by the Lightbringer, Lucy, Lucifer, Venus from mythology, and Venus is like the harbinger of like a time change occurring between the sun and the moon. Because in the morning, the first star, the brightest one is Venus, and in the night it's the same. So it's like Luffy is Venus, the changing of the times, the harbinger of change, and that's it. I hope that made sense. Didn't sound insane. I don't know. Maybe sometimes I think it sounds insane because I explain it badly. So I hope it makes sense.
Bars.
See, I feel like that, but then I remember I made a whole entire video essay on this. Like, if someone really wants to figure out, they gotta go check it out. Like, you can't do it justice by. I try my best to condense it down as much as I can with these stuff, and it's just like you can't do it justice because you need to explain this, to explain this, to explain this, to explain this, and
you gotta have one of them boards where it's like different things connecting them conspiracy.
That's because that's what Oda's like. You gotta match Oda's frequency.
He's a madman. Like he knows way too much. I don't know. It's like there's a reason why like everybody in Japan respects him. They're like recognized. Like he's a genius. He's like an artist. He stands above them. Oda Sensei. They're going on his floor. Everybody's like treating him like a half god, and that's why. Because it's like, what the fuck is he doing, dude? He is like a brain, like a madman. It's unbelievable. Like the stuff he knows, the depth. He knows like twists and turns and like conspiracy stuff. Where like, what the shit? He knows about like the inner twist within it and like what the heck, and like puts it into One Piece. It's like so weird sometimes.
Sometimes I do think Oda kind of like he puts certain symbols in there just to make us like use those symbols and go research, and then just to kind of like I think sometimes he leaves breadcrumbs to get us to the wrong conclusion so he can.
That's what he does.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people be guessing. And sometimes he's like, damn, now I gotta start trying to figure a way to curb people's speculation because a lot of times they're right? Like, yeah.
Because I think Oda does it like in a way. I think Zagreus described it. That's like this one dude who used to be on Aura Jackson, and he knows he like explained that stuff like we talked about it for like 4 or 5 years or something now. So and he taught me a lot of the stuff. Like he realized this like a long time ago. All that shit. And he wait, what topic were we talking about? Shit.
Theories. Theories.
Yeah, the black sheep stuff. The black sheep or the black horse, dark horse. I think he calls it dark horse. That like in important plot lines, Oda will not give you a clue, so you can't find even the answer. Like you think you know the answer because he doesn't even give you the right clues, so you can't figure it out. He's a bastard like this. You think it will be one thing, but totally not gonna happen. Yeah. And then Zunisha is gonna appear or some shit and be like,
sometimes. They'll get one thing and they'll try to force like a whole thing. That's why like people will ask me, like the crown thing. It's like, what is your take on this? And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not gonna force it. If I could give you something, I will. But if I
Mhm.
can't, it's just like I don't know.
Yeah,
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the end of the story.
Mhm.
yeah, like, cause I kind of wanna bring some up, cause Cube sent me
Mhm.
something right now, and I want to get your guys' opinion on it, right? So
Mhm.
I don't think I have the image right now, but there's I guess it was one of the earliest chapters, one of the first two chapters, right? Or
Mhm.
no, it wasn't. It was like an early chapter. This was during the Buggy arc, when they was on that
Yeah.
island. And
Mhm.
remember that guy? He had he was like a sheep or something. He was like a sheep. He was like one of Buggy's underlings. He
The
asked,
sheep?
yeah, he had like a
Ah, right,
sheep
I
head,
right,
right?
yeah.
So
Moji, Moji, like Mr. March. I think Mr.
yeah,
March, Moji for some reason.
Q could send it in the Discord. Y'all could check it out. So he pretty much asked like Luffy, like, what's up with just disability or whatever. He said, I ate a gum fruit from the gum tree. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I guess, Cube sent that to me to, say there might be the possibility of a gum tree. But my
Mhm.
thoughts on it is that, you guys could check the Discord after he sends it.
yeah, I
Mhm.
have it in my head. I know exactly what you're talking
And
about.
I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't think, I think that was probably before the time that Oda really kind of had the whole origins of
Mhm.
devil fruits fully fleshed out. So he just kind of
Mhm.
gave us something, right? Like, that's kind of my
Mhm.
take on it. But, what about you guys?
I would say that, as great as Oda is, he
Mhm.
didn't plan out every single thing in One Piece. So we got to give him some room for maybe the opposite happened. Maybe he was going to go in a direction, he decided to go in another direction. To say that there's a gum gum tree with what we know about devil fruit now makes no sense because devil fruits, we know through the cycle of reincarnation, can spawn on a different fruit that was just
Mm-hmm.
a normal fruit beforehand. So, as far as we know, only the fruit changes. It's not like the whole tree is now the gum gum tree
Yeah.
if the reincarnation cycle went to the whatever closest fruit by. So I don't think that's anything too deep, but who knows? He could surprise us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with that assessment. If it's gonna be like whatever, or it doesn't even matter,
Mm-hmm.
can totally buy it. Or as a human being, he changed his mind. Though at the same time, I think he is a total bastard when it comes to consistency. Like he can't admit that he's wrong to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I have the feeling this will play a role. Maybe it's like I could totally buy it too. That he's like, dude, what for the rubber fruit? It came from a tree. I don't give a shit. This fruit especially came from a tree.
Yeah.
Like, and I just
Yeah.
told you the answer. This is just like a when you think maybe like, and by the way, this could tie in actually work with like, where do devil fruits go when they're like sunk into the ocean? Like maybe it's like the
Oh.
energy gets sucked into the ocean and it goes to some place and there like tree grows. So there's a rubber tree and this is where like Shanks got it from or some shit. Who the fuck knows? Like I don't know.
Oda's so wild that, like you said, he could be a stubborn bastard because there was this one time a
Yeah.
fan pointed out that like this door got destroyed and then you saw in future panel it was repaired again. So then he created this
Yeah.
character out of nowhere to make a canon that it got fixed. And then he made the character
Exactly.
canon
It's
in
like
Wano.
I'm not
So
wrong.
you can't put
You don't
anything
talk
above
like me
him.
to me like this. You don't
Yeah.
talk to me like this. He's
Hey,
just gonna prove it, right?
it's like, bro, it's like arguing with God. Like, if
Yeah,
you're the God of the universe, you could alter the reality to make what you did
exactly.
right.
Rubber tree.
Cube says,
I show you rubber tree. I show you rubber tree. And by the way, there's this one tree that is like you see in chapter one, the cover page, I think, of the booklet or how you call it, the cover from the manga.
Mhm.
There's like this single island with like a tree. Like if in his head this is like the
Oh,
rubber tree or some shit, I don't know. I could totally buy it. It's like
I've
his
seen
head canon. He's
somebody
gonna.
point that out, that it's been used
Mhm.
a couple times, because I think it's been used when Laboon.
Mhm.
It's been used a couple times, that like it's this
And it's
small island with a
always
tree.
laughter related.
Yeah,
Always laughter related. So
yeah.
that's why even Arthur said, I think, in his mega theory that this island represents Laughtail or Finding One Piece, and he's right on that take.
Mm.
So Cube
Mhm.
says, I had this tape because in French the issue is still happening we have two words for devil fruit. One is translated devil fruit, and the second is devil's fruit. Devil mean both demon and devil in French. Sometimes they say devil's fruit instead of simply saying devil fruit. And then he said laboon because we was talking about so, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how two people can have similar ideas, like me and Best Generations. Should I call you Best Generation, or do you have another name?
Just call me G or Bestie. I don't know.
Okay.
Sounds French. I like to be called a G.
So,
that sounds appropriate. Just say.
I got you. So I had this theory about the Red Sea, and I proposed that the Adam tree could roots can be found. Well, there's this popular theory that the Adam tree is where devil fruits come from. Now, I wasn't thinking that when I made my theory. My mindset is whatever exists in the world of this Red Sea has to be super durable. Well, what are things in the One Piece world that are known for their durability? The Adam tree. That was just my mindset. However, if somehow this place that is hell is connected to the Adam tree, and the Adam tree has devil fruits, well, devil and hell. So that just kind of gives a mind frame to like my theorist brain, where I just start making connections, not just within the story, but also other people's theories. You know, I'm never against, saying, hey, I'm influenced by this person's theory and then shout out and whatever. You know, I'm not always going for the most original theory through and through. I'm just trying to get to a conclusion, and I just want to share it with people. If it's not the most original thing in the world, whatever. But it's just amazing to me, the story that Oda created, where so many people can come up with different theories, and then we can work together should we choose to work together. Some people are very like sensitive, like this is mine, don't use this, mine. But to me, I think it's just better for the community if everybody.
It's like that's why I created the channel, the Best Generation. It's not about me. I don't even introduce myself or anything. It's not about me. So I like the idea because like One Piece is ending and it's like brutal out there. Quite frankly, the content. I don't know. I'm gonna get upset about. I'm gonna get upset. The content is so freaking bad on One Piece. It's like the worst content in the universe. It's like one person copies another person, and the original take was. It's like, are you kidding me? It's like, are you kidding? And this is like every single video almost. Like, I hate to bash you and nothing, friends. Hate to say it, like burning some bridges
here. Keep it positive and peaceful here.
But for real, dude, what the heck is happening? That's why, like, my favorite series is ending, and like we are like, I don't know, nobody even realized like the Messiah connection. Like, you don't even realize that Luffy is a Messiah figure. Like, are you kidding me? Like, they're against this anti-Christianity trip. They're like on this Reddit tier mindset. Like embarrassing to even listen to. Like, nobody's getting it. Like, Kuma's holding a Bible in his hand, and people are like in denial. They're like, oh, I don't see anything. This is just iconography, dude.
Mihawk holds the cross.
They just don't. One of the biggest pet peeves, but also helped me realize just how fickle the community could be, and I just don't react to it anymore. But it's like they forget that this is made in Japan, because I would make theories about chi and Eastern ideology, and then people would be like, no, come on, that can't be in it. It's like, this thing came out of Japan. It's made in the East. How are you surprised that it uses Eastern ideology? Like, this isn't a comic book. It's like just wild.
It's their culture, dude. It's like, it's what they're about, dude. It's what they believe in. They can't really realize that other people believe different things. I think they have like a perspective issue, and I think this is like a problem for the West in general. They
think it's like the MCU.
Other countries are different. Like, they have completely different customs. They think different, and yeah, they act different, dude. They have, I don't know. I don't want to pop off too much, but I like what I'm seeing over there too. I'm like, people are like, this is too barbaric. I'm like, they're onto something. I think they're onto something on these few issues. I think they're onto something, quite frankly.
All right, let me read these chats real quick. Lucky 4F says, I've seen a theory that said that Luffy's fruit is related to the creation of devil fruits. Basically, the resin is used to hold the power, so the fruit is made of resin.
I like that idea. I like that idea a lot.
The only problem I have is maybe that I think that we talked about this yesterday. If Luffy's rubber devil fruit, if it's important for the story, it has like a special ability. Why is the normal rubber fruit not already, when it's awakened, can create resin? Why do you need a different fruit? Why is it not just within the rubber's
Yeah.
devil fruit's
Yeah.
ability already? Like it already can probably turn things into natural rubber, which is resin.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
exactly
So
what
we
it's
talked
supposed to
about
do.
this.
Yeah, I've been thinking that like, I'm like
Mhm.
I don't really
Mhm.
get the whole resin
Mhm.
phenomenon. I get it, but
Mhm.
isn't melted rubber or pretty much pure rubber? Isn't that like
Mhm.
isn't it resinish? I guess like isn't it pretty much the
Yeah.
same thing?
Yeah, me and Sean talked about this yesterday,
Mhm.
where it's like,
Mhm.
if it were to just be the resin fruit, why?
Mhm.
If
Mhm.
it's already close enough to rubber, why make it a whole new fruit? It's just
Yeah, like
Mhm.
redundant.
to me, it doesn't
Mhm.
make it that special. Like I get it, it might be a
Mhm.
little more versatile than rubber. I get that, but
Mhm.
it's not. It doesn't make it special compared to the hype that it gets. You know, so
Mhm.
with the
Not
that
worth the changing of like the different story,
yeah
where like Luffy every time says I'm a rubber man, and that's like a lie, and that's like retcon. Like it's not worth the price paying to change the story fundamentally.
yeah.
Mhm.
Let me
So
say why I like what that guy said. If you take out the
Mhm.
resin thing, and he's just
Mhm.
saying that it's the rubber fruit itself that is special,
Mhm.
because Zoro tapped into this thing called the breath of all things. Now that was a long time ago. It's
Mhm.
like 2 decades ago. I
Mhm.
know you've seen my video. So the
Mhm.
breath literally means chi. I mean, that's a literal translation of chi is breath. And I'm
Mhm.
1000% confident that's what Oda was going for with that. Because
Mhm.
hockey is reference to chi. Like there's no coincidences there.
Mhm.
So
Hockey, cheap. Mhm.
key.
if
Mhm.
Luffy is a rubber man and he himself came to the conclusion, hey, air is my best friend. Breath is my best friend. Without breath, how would he come up with gear third? I mean, even gear second, it's about oxygenating his blood. It's about using the
Mm.
air he breathes. Gear fourth, it involves air. I mean, you saw that last fight. He was clinging on that air for dear life.
Mhm.
And, that
Holding it
obviously
in,
looks like
yeah.
he loses. He looks like a balloon deflating. So
Mhm.
that concept of like devil fruits being linked to rubber itself, and if devil fruits contain chi, and then that gets into a whole big what is chi? Well, it's vibration, it's frequency. I love
Mhm.
the electromagnetic, what you said there, because what I'm saying sounds different, but I'm telling you, it's
Mm.
the same thing.
I heard the same thing. I think we get it both, so we get it. It's the same thing. Like other people will maybe hear a difference, but I think I get it.
Hey man, y'all making me
Mm.
feel like dang. I
Yeah.
gotta start
I think you
reading
get
like
it too,
20
dude.
books
You get it
every
too.
day. You know.
I think you know. You're
Yeah.
playing
No, I'm
dumb. You
messing.
know.
But y'all
Yes.
came up with the concept. I understand it. I just y'all
Mhm.
really put all the pieces.
Mhm.
Y'all put the puzzle pieces together, right?
Mhm.
Y'all put that
I've
working.
never seen anybody come
Mm-hmm.
up with it in a similar way. Like I've never seen someone actually try to look into it.
Mhm.
And now that you're
Mhm.
telling me you used to be on Oral Jackson, all that stuff, I'm like, wow,
Mhm.
I would have loved to have been a One Piece fan around that time. Unfortunately, I wasn't. How I got into One Piece
You the good
is
old
because of
times.
Sawyer.
Mhm.
Naruto ended, and I was like, what am I gonna get into next? And Sawyer
Mhm.
7 made, he was done reacting to Naruto. He's like,
Mhm.
he's still continuing this One Piece. I'm like, well, I kind of want to have that experience. Like, it was literally the
Mhm.
experience of watching his video every week that got me into One Piece because I wanted to
I'm
keep
thankful
on
for Sawyer now.
following it.
Thankful for Sawyer. He's doing
Yeah,
good. He's a force for good, apparently.
I rock with Sawyer because every time I watch with his video, like his videos, he
Mhm.
always points something out that I'm like, it's always like
Mhm.
something obscure, but it still be making sense. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that, right? So
Yes,
The craziest
abstract
thing is,
thinking. Yeah.
if you ask him, he probably wouldn't consider himself a theorist, but he comes up with some of the most
Mhm.
craziest things at
yeah,
times. It's like, wow, he
yeah.
does it like casually or something. I
Mhm.
don't get it.
All right, let me read these. Q says actually never got ELiDZ's opinion on what will happen to Luffy if Joy Boy is back. I already got King Bluff and Salt and Best G's
I would
take
like to
on it.
know too. Wait, what?
Okay,
he called you Salt and Best G. That's what he called you.
So
I'm
Sultan
just
best.
gonna.
Yo, that's a compliment. I like Sultan. I like Sultan. That's a good compliment. How does he know? I don't know, but I like Sultans. They're pretty cool.
And he also think you like Sanji too. So I mean that's. But go ahead, ELiDZ. I know.
Okay. Well, I've been working on this understanding hockey theory for like 2 years now.
Mhm.
And I've been saying from the beginning that I believe devil fruits are reincarnated people who become enlightened. You know, there's no
Mhm.
coincidence that when devil fruits awaken, I don't think it's like the devil fruit, it literally goes, oh, and wakes up. No, it's an awakening. It's a spiritual awakening.
Mhm.
So I've always thought that the devil fruit started with people who become enlightened. It may not
Mhm.
be their exact soul, like Brooke when he to life, but it's something to do with their soul. It's a at least a part, a significant a part
I
of
think
their
your
soul.
mic fell off, by the way.
Oh yeah, that was my
Mhm.
Bluetooth.
Mhm.
So I think it was at least a significant a part of their soul
Mhm.
contributed as to why
Mhm.
devil fruits exist in the first place.
Mhm.
Now I guarantee you, we're gonna see more and more people saying that.
Mhm. How?
I think devil fruit that Joy Boy either had the gum gum fruit at some point, or maybe he started it to begin with.
Mhm.
And I always suspected that, but I kind of didn't want it because I didn't want to take away from Luffy as an individual character in his story. But here we
Mhm.
are.
I'm kind of with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
kind of with you on that.
Mhm.
But go ahead.
but I trust in Oda in his writing. I don't think he would do that if he didn't have something in the
Mhm.
chamber.
Mhm.
So, with that being said, it then involves not just Joy Boy, but Nika. Everybody at this point, for a lot of people, are just assuming they're the same person, but they could be different. Maybe
Mhm.
Joy Boy was originally the person who mastered this gum gum technique. And later
Mhm.
down the line, Nika got his fruit. Maybe
Mhm.
there's more people in history. Maybe Luffy becomes he's Midoriya now and he's gonna go plus
Mhm.
ultra going down the line. No, I would hate if that happened. But
Yeah.
with that being said, how much influence could the fruit have over Luffy?
Mhm. Mhm.
Maybe in this particular moment, it has a great influence over him.
Mhm.
Just because he could be in some near death state where he doesn't have control over it. And
Mhm.
because he's in that state, it opens him up for having external forces inside of
Mhm.
him.
Mhm.
Yeah, kind of like
Yeah, you
Sounds a
kind
lot
of
like
foreshadow
Nightmare
my next
Luffy.
video. I don't know. You kind of foreshadowed it all, basically. My take is Luffy actually died, and
yeah,
like his
Hmm.
voice disappeared, and
yeah,
that's why like every character in the series states his voice disappeared, and all characters, also the characters in the One Piece in the story of One Piece who know that this means that you are dead, so they all acknowledge
Hmm.
it. So it indicates that Luffy is actually dead. And we have like precedent with Kobe at Marineford, same thing. Voices disappear, people die. Skypiea, voices disappear, people die. So it's the same thing here. And my take
Hmm.
is basically Luffy's dead, empty shell, and from somewhere an external source is comes Joyboy's energy. If it's his straw hat, if it's his rubber
Hmm.
devil fruit, if it's like the thing that is stored in Zunisha is like there's like Joyboy's giant soul is stored there. And we kind of know maybe the
Hmm.
poneglyphs have a voice in them. So maybe Joyboy's soul is even trapped in the poneglyphs. He probably has touched them all and put his voice into
Hmm.
there. So maybe that's where he got it. I don't know how he got it, but that's how like Joyboy returned his consciousness into Luffy's empty shell. He's gonna
yeah,
take over, voice of all creation, gets his life back. I don't like the idea of if he kicks Kaido's ass. I don't know what he
yeah.
told you. Well, I don't know. I feel it. I feel it. Gonna get whooped. I don't know. I don't know why I feel it.
Yeah, I made a whole video called Nightmare Luffy, and I
Mm-hmm.
spent a good chunk of that video, the very beginning, just talking about look, if Luffy beats Kaido, it's gonna be bittersweet no matter what. But if he
Yeah.
does it just himself, that would make me, I would say, no, Oda, you can't get away with that. You can't go
Yeah.
super mega ultra over Kongon and
Mm-hmm.
Luffy just leaves and goes on about his day. Like it can't just be that. It has to be
Mm-hmm.
something.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's gonna be bittersweet, but at least make it something that's more believable than just him punching him
Oh,
super hard.
perfect take. I just have. I think I don't know why why nobody had this before. It's so obvious, actually. Totally calling it. I don't know. You have sometimes these moments you see into the Matrix, you see the code, you crack the
I
code.
know exactly
This
that
is one
feeling.
of
Yeah.
those. That's what it feels like. Is one of these moments because Kaido got cheated of his win against Luffy. We don't
Mhm.
know if he would have defeated him. Could have Luffy have lost? Could have he won? We don't know.
Yeah.
And now Luffy gets cheated for a win too by Joy Boy. So they have to do a
Mhm.
rematch. Both cheated once. They're gonna
That
acknowledge,
was
dude. Isn't this perfect?
that was exactly what I said in my nightmare
Yeah.
video. Was like, I think that Luffy could be a conduit of souls. Like maybe
Mhm.
Odin can come in his body, which I do
Yeah.
say I'm not completely, until it doesn't happen, then I'm going against
Mhm.
it. But I will say that smile that Luffy had was the same smile Odin had when he died.
You
So I do
Mm.
have a little bit of smidgen, like it could still happen.
can I
But
By the way, same smile as the whale at Zunisha has the same smile. You will look at it, you will go crazy. You will be like, "What the fuck is happening?" So
you know
just
something?
say.
I've been on the Nightmare Luffy idea since like Whole Cake Island, really. But
Mm.
my way about it was vastly different, right? Because I've
Mm.
always been one to think that Gecko Moria had to come to Wano because I think there was still some type of
Mm.
story left for him to get some type of revenge, even if he had to be Luffy's ally for
He's gonna help
a
Luffy.
time,
It's like
right?
I have to.
And
Mhm.
but I also believe that Blackbeard having Gecko Moria going to Kaido because I kind of thought like, you know,
Right, he killed him, right?
yeah,
Or I don't know, or he had him in his bag one time,
yeah,
right?
like
Something like that.
I've said that,
Mm-hmm.
or Kaido's beaten Gecko Moria a couple times or once at least,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, look. No, he didn't kill. I don't think he's killed Gecko Moria. I think he wants to use him.
Yeah.
He killed Absalom though.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absalom got killed. That was it. Yeah.
I'm like
Mm-hmm.
Blackbeard. I could see Blackbeard wanting like Kaido's devil fruit, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I've always been of the idea that Blackbeard could have 3 devil fruits. So
Mm-hmm.
we know he has 2. Maybe he
Mm-hmm.
already has a third one. That maybe that third
Mm-hmm.
one is giving him the ability to have 2 more,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe
That's
he
right.
only has 2 and he wants a third one. Well, what better trifecta than to have the best Logia that we know of being the I
Mm-hmm.
mean it was said the Yami Yami is the best. I mean
Mm-hmm.
that's what Blackbeard
Oh,
says, but
Blackbird's opinions. Yeah,
yeah,
Blackbird's opinion. Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
Gora Gora know me or is it
Mm-hmm.
the Goro Goro? Cuz I think
Gura Gura. Gura
Gura
Gura.
Gura,
okay,
Yeah.
cuz Anel's is
Gura.
what? Goro Goro? Anel's.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the
Mm-hmm.
Goro Goro that's said to be the strongest Promisia. And I would think, now I could be wrong, of course, but I would
Mm-hmm.
think, at least what I was thinking at the time, that
Mm-hmm.
whatever Kaido's devil fruit was probably going to be the strongest zone. So what better
And it
way?
turns out you're correct, I think,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So my my
Mm-hmm.
my scenario kind of that ran in my head was, you
Mm-hmm.
know, Kaido or Blackbeard goes to Wino. He doesn't show himself right away, but we might see Gecko Moria early.
Mm-hmm.
He allies with Luffy to pretty much take on Kaido, but that's when
Mm-hmm.
we get a Gear 4 Nightmare Luffy, right? You know,
Mm-hmm.
you know that original Gear 4, and then Blackbeard
Yeah.
comes out of nowhere, pretty much does what he did to Whitebeard to Kaido,
Mm-hmm.
cheats Luffy out the victory because he probably was going to lose anyway, even with
Mm-hmm.
Nightmare Luffy. That was
I
my
like the idea of
perception.
Blackbeard appearing, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I don't know, cannot believe it. Cannot believe it. I want a Joy Boy ass whooping on Kaido. They're gonna team up. They'll be like, bro, we are bros, we are homies. We're gonna do it one more time, and then Luffy's gonna destroy him. Good fight, good old fight.
yeah.
1-on-1, mano a mano. It's
Man,
gonna be epic. It's gonna be of epic proportions. I don't know, maybe there was something at Wano, like this whole thing with Joy Boy with like an ancestor of Kaido kicking his ass
yeah.
during the Void Century. I don't know. Maybe there's gonna be like this whole history revealed with Kaido. He's related to Joy Boy or some shit, right? He knows.
Yeah, oh,
So I don't know.
Kaido supposed. I don't know, but let's
Honestly,
go
I
ahead.
don't think we need Joy Buddha to come back for Kaido to be defeated because we
Mhm.
still have Beppo with Sulong form. I think that's
Beppo.
gonna really
He's gonna be
that's
the
the secret
creditor,
trump card.
dude.
Oh,
Reddit is just
man.
waiting. Reddit is waiting, making all the theories. They're like, dude, the
Let
wild
me
card.
let me read this chat real quick. Oh, and Best Jen, I'm not sure if you have to go or you know.
Yeah, soon, I think 10 minutes I got still.
You
That's
you you
almost.
yeah, you let me know when
Mm-hmm.
you're ready to bounce.
Mm-hmm.
Angels Room. Shout out to Angels Room. Welcome to the chat. He said, "Yo, late to the discussion, but what's good? What's good, Angels Room? Sorry
Mm-hmm.
to took a minute
Yo.
to address you, but welcome to the chat. Glad you're here." Lucky for F says, "Well, Prometheus are supposed to be non-natural. Yeah. So it would
Mm-hmm.
be a synthetic rubber resin, I guess. I'm not sure. Yeah. So I mean, that's pretty much what we've been saying. It's just like the purest form of resin or rubber,
Mm-hmm.
which is still kind of resin-ish, right? Cube says I am suspecting that ELiDZ and Best G got old as well. Just got
I
something that
try. I try.
just just got something. What if the lurking legend is linked to Maria's devil fruit? I don't know. I don't think it is. I don't think.
Thinking these are Zunishas or not? Because it's like the only take where you have creatures that could be these guys. Like we don't even know other creatures that look like these dudes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and I don't know, man.
You're gonna get an I don't know from me. That's one of
Yeah,
those
it's
things where
Yeah,
it's like I don't know. It's not enough.
I think I think those
though.
Zunisha's probably the best explanation.
Yeah, I think Zunisha is
Yeah,
like one of the only
that would be the best.
explanations. But the thing though too is like at Thriller Bark, that was the foreshadow arc of Wano, and in Wano, Zunisha appeared. So
Yeah.
maybe it was foreshadowed at Thriller Bark, the Zunisha swarm, right? Does it make sense?
I mean, it could
I
be
think
the
that is older
case.
logic.
Yeah.
That is older logic. That's like how he thinks. He's like, that makes sense.
Lucky for F says Moria did have Rock's crew as his zombies, Captain John, and I think it was like a Chinese influenced character too. I think
Mm-hmm.
like Chi something Chi
Van
or
Z, Van Z, Van Z,
yeah,
Van Zu.
something like that. Like it might be him as
Mm-hmm.
well. And then he
Mm-hmm.
says, "No way he has Rock's body, right?"
Mm. I think
Oh,
nobody has it. Only maybe Blackbeard.
yeah, maybe Blackbeard could have his soul, but and if
Mm-hmm.
he does have, oh, I mean, think of this though. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
the soul of Rocks is within Blackbeard, but
Mm-hmm.
the body, maybe
Mm-hmm.
Blackbeard found his body.
Mm-hmm.
It may
Or the other way
maybe
around, one of the two.
this is his way of having Rocks' body, like Rocks on
Mm-hmm.
his crew, right? Like what better crew? Okay, listen to this. We got
Mm-hmm.
10. There's 10 Titanic captains. If you go look at
Mm-hmm.
the One Piece wiki on Blackbeard, we only see
Mm-hmm.
9. There's only been 9 though. There's only 9 captains though. So there's like a
Mm-hmm.
mystery captain. So I kind of like that idea. Like the idea that maybe if Zebek's soul is within Blackbeard
Mm-hmm.
and Blackbeard has Zebek's body, and
Yeah.
maybe I mean, I would think it would probably be better to have Big Mom extract the
Mm-hmm.
soul.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think the shadow, because then he's going to be taking Blackbeard's shadow. So I don't know if that's going to
Yeah.
work the way Blackbeard wanted to. So, but if he could kind of create like a Zebek zombie, that
Mm-hmm.
could be interesting. That could be interesting.
I just don't hate. I hate everything that has to do with Edo Tensei. I don't know. I'm like so traumatized from Naruto. It's like when I see one guy being revived, I'm like crying already. It's like traumatizing, dude. It's like I
I
can't. I
mean,
can't.
it'd be kind of like Ryuma
Zabuza
though, right?
ruined. Haku ruined. Like every single Itachi ruined. Like everybody gets ruined. Like just leave them dead, dude.
I mean, it could be more like a Ryuma situation though, right? Which is still kind of like Edo Tensei, I guess you could say, but
Though with the back, it wouldn't be like how to say, somebody we know intimately. Like
Yeah,
it wouldn't ruin it. It wouldn't ruin it. So it would be still different. Gotta be fair. So I
yeah,
like the idea still.
yes.
Hmm.
So Shane said Luffy going to coat himself in resin and fight underwater. I love that resin thing. And fight underwater someday. Haha. I don't know, but hey, I mean, ELiDZ talked about this. You know, he talked about having a sun god version of Luffy and also a moon god version of Luffy. And I think you said something about the moon god being able to coat himself in like a aura. Not really much resin, but I guess resin could work.
I mean, it would be very similar
Yeah.
because it would just be like a liquid fluid or like rubber around his body.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's just turning his aura into rubber through his awakening.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah. Like
By the way, we had a take before the stream starts. This is just a total speculation. When Luffy wakes up, he might have the same eyes as Emo, maybe purple color or something like this. Something we haven't seen before because like he is being controlled, his mind is being bent by Joba right now or something like that. So if I'm just calling it, somebody else said it. I think Hyde in my Discord today was a really good take. I thought about it too, but yeah, want to give it credit anyways. So,
Lucky for F says, I'm gonna just say Lucky. Lucky says Moria's awakening could possibly affect souls. So that then he'll be dipping into Big Mom territory. But it's known that like a lot of devil fruits could act like other ones, right? Like when you look at how Katakuri was pretty much mimicking everything Luffy did, but they have very similar devil fruits, right? So
yeah.
I mean, they are in a sense kind of similar, right?
I like that. There's the you think like from a psychological standpoint, we have a shadow. So maybe he could like affect not even just physical shadow, but maybe like a metaphysical version of a shadow.
Yeah, kind of
That'll be interesting.
like that movie Us, right?
That movie.
I haven't even seen that.
You haven't seen that? It's kind of like the same movie. You've seen the movie Get Out, right? Same people, same one. So it's basically his family. They went on a vacation, and then there's like another family came and was trying to kill him, pretty much. And so come to find out that there's like this shadow world where everybody has like a doppelganger, and and everybody's like shadows in the world start pretty much taking over.
I saw the trailer on Netflix.
Yeah.
No, I remember. I saw the trailer on Netflix, I think.
Yeah. So that'd be like a shadow, right?
Yeah. I want to throw a Molotov if I can. I want to throw something into the room, some spice.
Okay.
I don't know, ELiDZ, you seem like a nice guy and everything, but like, what do you think about power level discussions? Are you gonna tell me? But I want to have something specific. How do you like the admirals? The admirals compared to the Yonkos? I need to hear. I need a controversy.
I was actually gonna give you some controversy. I was talking about Luffy and Zoro, but admirals is good enough too.
Yeah, I want to take some controversy.
So if you ask me in general, I'll be like, I don't care about power level, but I do like how people get so reactive. So I will give takes just to see like how people feel, even though I don't personally care that much. So we want admirals or Luffy and Zoro? Which one?
Both. Let's go both.
Okay.
I will take my time.
We'll start with the admirals.
But I will hear both out.
We'll start with the admirals. At first.
Like
I was of the mindset that like Yonkos can demolish admirals because of what Whitebeard did to Akainu. But then I thought about it, and when you really look at like how much damage Whitebeard did to the admirals, it's actually not that much if we're being honest. But then you factor in, oh, he's sick and he's old. So then you're like, oh, but then it's a 3-on-1. It's like so many things to factor on. Then you're like, what does it matter? I think what really matters is how the admirals would go against Yonko commanders. Look at that and then trace it back to Yonkos. I know some people try to say Yonko commanders can take on admirals. I don't believe that. I think any admiral is going to 1v1 defeat any Yonko commander. The only person maybe could be like Rayleigh's and that guy, Shanks is right here, but we don't know anything about him. So I'm not even going to say him because it's just speculation. That's all it is. Just speculation. So when you factor that in, I do think admirals can do a good amount against a Yonko. I think on average, a Yonko is going to be better than an admiral. But Akainu is a different beast. He's not the same as the other ones when he's at full power, full killing intent. But then you can't sleep on Aokiji because he gave Akainu a fight on Punk Hazard. And then you got Kizaru with the OP
with the
OP-ness. Each time I say something, I have something to counter it because that's what it is. that is literally the personification of a Yonko and Admiral. You wouldn't be an admiral if you're not someone who can be that against a Yonko. If it was someone who can get destroyed by a Yonko, you wouldn't be an admiral in the first place.
True.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's a big gap. I just believe that Yonko will win more than, like, if it was 10 fights, I think the Yonko would probably take 7 out of, or maybe 6 out of 10 of them. 7 out of 10 of them probably, you know, but I don't think it's like, and it depends on what the matchup is at that, right? Because matchups are also always important, you know, because a weaker character could have a better chance if the matchup is right. So, you know, that's the things with One Piece. You know, Oda always makes it to where there's never really a definitive answer. You know, like he intentionally
that's true as well. Yeah,
continue.
You can't know most of the stuff. At the end, you have to guess who is stronger than who at the end.
Exactly.
Because we'll not get a full matchup of anybody.
Exactly.
But yeah, I like this take a lot. It was objective, both sides. You guys get it. You don't play favorites. Though.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like being a fence sitter,
but it's reality. Anyways, 3 admirals. There are only 3 admirals. There are 4 Yonkos, there are 3 admirals. Just saying, it's like.
I'm gonna just say this.
That's what it is.
I'm gonna just say this though. Kaido don't lose 1-on-1. I'm just saying that. But
yeah, you say that, but
he will
next
with Joy Boy though. But that's Joy Boy though. That's Joy Boy. I'm just
okay. Luffy versus Zoro. Luffy is stronger than Zoro. There's no doubt about that. Luffy's the captain. He's the strongest person on the crew.
I think the better question is Zoro
and Sanji.
I think that's the better
question. Well, I'm just gonna forget you even said that. Okay.
No, that's
Luffy versus Zoro.
No.
Not really a question.
Nah, listen, y'all gonna stop sleeping on Sanji, bro. I'm telling you, people gonna stop sleeping on Sanji, bro. Because every time, listen. Every time they fought, they always fight the second and third right hand man, right? Like I think Enies Lobby is the best testament to the Zoro and Sanji debate. Because when we look at it, when we got an actual objective measurement of each of the CP0, Kaku was stronger than Jabra, who was number 3, but it was only by like what 20, 30. It wasn't by a lot. Like it wasn't like a large gap as, let's say, Kaku and Jabra against Lucci, right? Now there was a gap between that. Against Kaku and Jabra, it was pretty close, like maybe 20 Doriki or whatever they call it. Sanji, now when we actually look at the fight, Sanji kind of had an easier time with Jabra than Zoro did with Kaku.
Coping, I love it. Keep going.
So if you look at that, that's to say, man, Sanji probably could have done just as good against Kaku that Zoro did. Possibly. Okay. So
I'll say 3 things.
Saying,
one,
Sanji, the gap's not that different. I'm still gonna give it to Zoro, of course. So,
it's funny how it always works. You have to bring a power level discussion. Everybody has 3 arguments. Everybody has 3 arguments.
I'm saying y'all be trying to bury Sanji and not give him the credit. That's all I'm saying.
Look, I love
Sanji. 1, Sanji, that was pre-time skip. 2,
and if
they measured that before Kaku got the devil fruit.
If you
and
look
3,
if you look post time,
if you look at how their fights ended, Kaku was obliterated, and Jabra actually was able enough to save Kaku and the other one, because they were incapacitated. Meanwhile, Jabra was up and about. So clearly he got out of the fight, not that beat up. But that's just almost besides the point, because that was a long time
easily. And then when we look at the post time skip though, Sanji has been fighting. He's clashed with way more heavy hitters than Zoro. He clashed with Doflamingo. He clashed with Virgo. Virgo, I would probably say, is better than Pika, but I mean that's that. And it wasn't a fight, so I'm not going to sit here and compare.
Yeah, you're just saying his L's. I don't know why. That's not going to help him out.
Pika kind of seemed like a bum though, if we being serious. He just had a devil. He had a great devil fruit. He had a great.
He's making a point.
He had a great.
You're helping me out. You're just telling me the people he lost to. Okay. Kaido, I mean, you haven't seen
Sanji beat Luffy. Kaido. Sanji beat Luffy. What you say?
I'll give him that, but I think Zoro could beat Luffy, which brings it back to the original thing. Could Zoro beat Luffy? Now I know you're thinking Luffy's stronger. I just agreed and said Luffy's stronger, but there's this thing called matchups. If you're familiar with fighting games, there's always a tier,
Mm-hmm.
and a meta. Someone
Mm-hmm.
could be a higher tier, just like Luffy's stronger than Zoro, but it could be a bad matchup and still lose to someone who's a lower tier, like
Yeah.
Zoro.
Mm-hmm.
Zoro has what it takes to actually beat Luffy
Mm.
because
The swords.
he has swords, he uses cutting weapons,
And
and you
Sanji
can
beat
argue,
Luffy.
well, Zoro
And
would be
Sanji has
Luffy
the
better.
stick.
Zoro has 2 fights to measure him by the whole time skip. Well, three, because I forgot he did fight Killer. He did fight. Nah, but I'm not saying.
I didn't want to bring.
Listen. I'm
I
not
didn't-
saying. But I'm not saying Zoro beat. I'm not saying Sanji's better than or stronger than Zoro. I feel as though y'all like people overestimate the gap between them. That's all. That's kind of my gripe. Just I think y'all act like there's I feel as though y'all believe that Zoro is closer to Luffy than he is to Sanji. And I'm like, no.
I think so.
I don't
would
think
probably
that. I
say
just don't think
Sanji
it's
is
debatable.
closer.
Yet.
I would say so, probably. If
And
I really had to guess,
I
if I
disagree
had
with
to
that.
really call it, like I had to bet money on it, I would say, yeah, it's probably right that Zoro
And if
is
that's-
always closer to Luffy than to Sanji.
Yeah,
I think.
I would disagree with that. But let me read some of these.
Here's
chats,
the
man,
thing.
'cause I'm kind of
Zoro has multiple instances in the story where people look at him and go, "Wait, he's not the captain." When has that ever happened to Sanji? That's never. No one's ever questioned whether or not Sanji is a captain or not.
But I don't think that's necessarily the case for like strength, because I'm saying Sanji has proven he's up there, right? Like,
Yeah, I just don't think it's debatable. I feel like Luffy versus Zoro is
I think
actually
it's
debatable.
very
You can
debatable.
bring things to the
I think
table.
it's very debatable.
Oh no way!
I think it's.
What is Sanji gonna do to Zoro? Like
What is
beat him
Sanji
up?
gonna-
People beat Zoro up plenty of times. You know how much Zoro can take.
I think Sanji got way more mobility than Zoro, which would be his biggest advantage in the battle, which would be a very big battle or a big advantage, because Zoro tends to have problems with people he can't really reach, right?
Okay, sorry, I
Yeah,
didn't want to do this. This was just a joke. This was just
No, I
all
get
in a
it, I get
discussion.
it.
Let's just go in.
Nah, I'm just
By the way,
saying,
the funniest stuff is, I remember this is like a deja vu. I had like a situation with King of Lightning or something. I think he made the exact same arguments, and I like unsubbed to him and stopped watching YouTube One Piece for like 2 years. Because it got so ridiculous. This guy was like so hard coping defending Sanji.
He's a hardcore Sanji fan, but I
And he
just
calls
think
Zoro
it's
dick riders and everything, insults them.
But
let
me read these.
Can I ask some questions?
Yeah, but let me read these chats.
I don't know how much.
Let me read these chats real quick.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot. Cause I've been trying to. So maybe Q or Shane says go to chapter 496. They talk about the resin. That is how they get to Fishman Island. I'm ready for the future, no matter what ELiDZ could be on to something. Cube says Cavendish face is an example of a personality gets their unique physical traits. So anything is possible, exactly. Not to mention that VA and over permission based off politics. Not to mention that VA and I'm not sure. Zoro has a stronger physical prowess. Luffy has superior hockey. Luffy is overall stronger to Zoro. Zoro is stronger to Sanji, but due to the fact Zoro trains all the time, but the difference isn't much. So Cube don't think it's that much of a difference. Lucky for F says Sanji has body hardening now. It puts him closer. Sanji is my favorite Straw Hat, but I think Zoro takes this one, especially after whatever happens with the Reaper. I mean, yeah, I think he's gonna come out of that with a upgrade. And Q says Zoro is still a fighter, but don't sleep on Sanji. He's still a monster. Best Gen talking about Zoro 1-0 Sanji. Yeah, that's with one fight. Of course it is. You give him 10 fights, I'm saying 6-4 or something. But maybe 7-3. Maybe 7-3. Zoro, in favor of Zoro. And then Cube said the real question, and I know Best Gen, this question is for you because I know you're gonna love it. The real question is who's stronger, God, Usopp, or the Messiah?
The Messiah.
and they said,
I don't know. Isn't it one and the same in this instance? Because
yeah, that's true. I get. I
Is
think
it
he.
so
I
they
think a
came
little bit
to
of
mask
eye
the
opener.
sun?
I think he just
Yeah.
knew you don't like the whole God Usopp thing. That's why he was asking.
No, I don't know. Maybe people think it's blasphemy. I think Oda's doing an homage. I think.
Yeah.
I think it's
So
something positive with the whole Sun God, with the Sugar King, and then Messiah. He becomes God Usopp. I think he's getting it. I think Oda gets it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Angel Room said those moments where before Sanji joined the crew and the other one Sanji was asleep. You gonna have to remind me what you talking about, Angel. Q said Sanji is faster and more durable. I don't know about maybe more durable, but I'll say Zoro he has more endurance, which are two different things, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say Zoro's probably has more endurance, and Sanji might be more durable, especially with his current upgrade. But yeah, look, I agree. I think Zoro is definitely the stronger of the two. I just think Sanji is much closer to Zoro than a lot of people want to give him credit for.
I agree with the
Specifically, guy
sentiment.
under me.
I like to think it too. I like to believe it too. Maybe my rationality is different, so I see it a little bit different. But I
Yeah.
like to believe it too.
Yeah,
That the gap is not that big.
Yeah.
I don't know. I look at King and Queen and I'm like,
But you
the
know,
gap was big after all.
but you know,
The
some people in the stream don't want to be unbiased.
gap.
I'm looking at the guy under me.
Oh, I agree that they're close. I just don't think the fight is debatable. That's it.
All
That's
right.
a good way of putting it. I think Blump
Yeah.
agrees with it. It's like it's not debatable who will win most of the time.
Yeah.
You can maybe debate the amount, but not who will win. That's not debatable. Like a little bit irrational if somebody actually says Sanji is stronger than Zoro. That's
I
a little
think
bit.
Oda just loves the argument, and it's never going to be close. Like unless it's at the end of the series. But I don't think we'll ever get an answer to that. I think he will always leave like little things to say. Maybe Sanji could beat it, or nah, Zoro's strong.
I saw the best troll answer one time. They said Sanji could win, and it wasn't even a confirmed troll. Just the answer, you're not gonna believe it. They said Sanji could win because Sanji actually has swordsmanship, and Zoro can't really kick. So, I mean, I guess.
Yeah. If you switch the places, yeah, maybe. Like switch the swords, and then Sanji wins. It's like it's the tools. It's what's in the way between their strength. If Sanji had the tools, he would win. He's making a case actually. He says the tools are what makes Zoro stronger, and he got a point.
You take
Zoro. Got a point actually.
How Sanji beats Luffy? Zoro. You take Zoro's swords away.
Yeah, he takes his swords out of his hands, grabs them, instantly masters Santorio. I mean, his name is Sanji. Why would he not be able to master it instantly?
Whoa. Man, he's holding back. The implication is the entire time that Sanji is stronger than Zoro, but he chooses not to be stronger. that is a huge plot twist.
But you got a question, ELiDZ?
Okay.
I know you said.
Yeah, it was more like addressing something that was said yesterday. You said you don't want to see the understanding Haki's the following ones because of the theory you're working on, which I completely understand. I get like that at times where I'm just like, it's not even the fact of, oh, I don't want to take away from this person. It's more like I want to see what I can make without being
exactly.
So I completely get that.
I see it a little bit as art, to be honest. I don't know why I see it as art a little bit. Want to produce a fresh individual idea. And of course, it's influenced to a high degree that I'm not even consciously aware of by other people. Just by seeing stuff, I probably have an idea that I got 4 years ago. I read on a forum, and I forgot I didn't come up with myself. And it's all a mess, and who knows where what started.
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna do a video right now, I don't want to watch a video that's similar. It's would defeat the purpose in a certain way. Hey, afterwards, I can be holy shit, it's the same.
Shout out to Sunlight Alliance. He says, what do you guys think Luffy's new power is, and what will he be able to do with it? I'm gonna let you finish what you said, ELiDZ, and then let's answer that question.
I'm gonna say, with that being said, I still, when I watch that video, I'm like, oh, I want to tell him about this because I want to see what theory you're gonna create, And there's
Mm-hmm.
certain things like I'm
Mm-hmm.
not gonna sit here and say, hey, look at this chakra and make a chakra theory. But there's certain little things that I want to tell
Mm-hmm.
you, and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I think it would just, even if it's just a little thing, it could really help out your theory.
Mm.
So if
Okay,
you're
okay.
open to
I
that,
can
I got one
engage.
thing prepared that I could tell you.
I can engage. I can engage. Let's shoot.
Okay.
I like to be surprised.
So you brought up the electromagnetic spectrum,
Mm-hmm.
something I kind of dabbled into with the third eye chakra because the element is light.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, there's a spectrum, not just electromagnetic, but it's about the frequencies and vibrations
Mm-hmm.
and things
For
being in
sure.
constant motion, like the swirl and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So there's another spectrum that I think you could apply to your theory, and that
Mm-hmm.
has to do with not just light, but sound. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure if you're doing that, but I think there's something to it, sound,
Mm-hmm.
because let me show you a way that that works parallel with your theory and still makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You said that Blackbeard, his ability negates light, so it makes sense that it negates a devil fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Think
Mm-hmm.
about this. His his powers are also about darkness and void and black holes. Well,
Mm-hmm.
something else that does not operate in that space is sound as well.
Mm-hmm.
And sound exists on, there's the G note, there's all those notes. It's the same thing. It
Mm-hmm.
actually mirrors and parallels. And I do think there's a connection between devil fruits and sound as well as
Mm-hmm.
light. You
I
mean just think
100%
about what
agree.
Aki's called a voice.
Mm-hmm.
Just look at the last chapter. Luffy's on the ground and it has a sound effects, and everybody's clinging to that sound effect. It's just a sound effect,
Mm-hmm.
but it's huge because it's like the sound effect is saying Nika, and some of the
Mm-hmm.
devil fruits are literally named after sound effects. So
But
that's
that
just
that
what I
was
wanted to share
it.
with
Didn't
you.
say that
That's
in the
something you can look into
official.
is incorporating sound.
I didn't even know that. Wait, devil fruits are named after sound effects?
Okay, so Mr. One,
Mm-hmm.
he has the ability to turn into a sword, but do you know the name of his
Blade?
devil fruit?
Blade fruit? For blade?
It's actually called the Supanomi. So you might be
Oh.
thinking, oh, super means metal. Does it mean sword? No, super is actually a sound effect. That's why it's called the
Ah.
supernomi, because it's literally
Mm-hmm.
the sound effect of metal clinging. So that's
Mm-hmm.
an example of sound being related to.
Mm-hmm. To devil fruits even. Okay, the wavelength within it. I agree.
Yeah.
I've been on
Kizaru's
this,
devil
I don't
fruit is
know.
the glint fruit. That's where you like hear. That's kind of I think of like a sparkle, like a bling. I
hmm
don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Even the rumble fruit, like what does rumble? Why is his thing called the goro? We're talking about Enel.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a
Ah,
sound.
the rumble sound from like SFX, right? Ah, that's why it's called Goro.
Yeah.
I'm like, Goro doesn't mean lightning. I don't know why the fuck the devil fruit's called Goro. I thought it was lightning
hmm
fruit. It's
Yeah. When
actually
I
a
was
sound
watching, I
effect.
was like,
That makes
I
sense.
gotta tell him this. I really want you to
Yeah.
see what you can incorporate. I think you can. It'll really open up some avenues, and I can't wait to see what you come up with in the future.
I think that helps. I was for a long time on the like it's not light or it's like wavelength, like wavelength radio
hmm
frequency, the den mushis that they like copy a human being, so they copy the wavelength of the human. So there's this whole this idea.
hmm
I'm onto that trip, and maybe like all the den mushis have like the voice of all creation, kinda. That's why they can copy like humans. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know the full story.
hmm
But yeah, I wouldn't say about the devil fruit. I now get with the sound effect. That makes perfect
hmm
sense. I haven't realized that. That will
Yeah,
definitely help. But
Cube
like, I
just
can
said
just tell you
it
where
even
I'm
explains
going with it.
Mara Mara.
Mhm.
So
Um.
kind of touching on what Sunlight Alliance asked. He said, "What do you guys think of Luffy's new power is,
Mhm.
and what
Mhm.
will he
All
be
right.
able
Right.
to do
Sorry.
with it?"
Mhm.
Yeah, we talked about this, but we answer the question, because Sunlight Alliance just kind of hopped in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Alice can pop off. I think we popped off about that already.
I just kind of go over. You could give him a quick answer. I'm gonna just say that for the most part, we believe that it's still kind of a it's just like the rubber, right?
Mhm.
Like if you look at rubber in its
Mhm.
purest form, it's like a
Mhm.
liquidy, almost kind of like a resin, right? And that's kind of what we believe. That's
Mhm.
what I believe, at least. I think that goo is just
Mhm.
rubber, right? Now, I think
Mhm.
what's happening with Luffy, me personally, I'm gonna speak for myself. I think Joy Boy has possessed Luffy's body. I currently think Luffy is dead and Joy Boy is currently in the driver's seat with Luffy's body, and he probably knows the devil fruit. Maybe the Gummo Gummo no Mi had Joy Boy's soul within it, so that's how he was able to exist. It could have been the Straw Hat as well. Maybe Joy Boy's soul is in the Straw Hat, or like we don't know where Joy Boy's actual soul is in. It could have been Luffy the whole time, right? Since people kind of already predicted Luffy as Joy Boy. So maybe when he died, it gave Joy Boy a chance to possess the body. And Joy Boy probably already know how to use devil fruits, or at least the Gummo Gummo no Mi possibly. And he was automatically able to awaken it. That's my theory on it.
Yeah.
Whoever
I basically agree with everything. It's like,
Yeah. ELiDZ.
Yeah, I mean, my answer is pretty simple. It just has something to do with awakening. I'm not gonna say I think it's gonna be this or that without any proof, but all I can say is it's definitely awakening because his straw hat's being affected, so it has to do something with awakening.
Yeah. He says agree.
Don't know about that. I think people think the straw is on his head, but it's actually on the back of his head. So
it is.
It's not, it is actually not 100% affected. We don't know where it comes from. Though, another take, the voice of all creation is the answer to the whole mystery, quite frankly. I think the drums of liberation is a logical extension of the voice of all creation that Luffy the entire time had, which is to resonate with people so they like him and then they want to follow him. That's like his basically magic ability to resonate with people. And now it's confirmed it's a factual ability called the drums of liberation. And that's maybe what he used to drum up energy from external sources or some shit. I don't know exactly the details, but something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe, and that could be it too. Maybe the voice of all things. Maybe maybe him having it, he was able to call out the Joy Boy through death, and Joy Boy came. And it could be.
You can create a voice. Maybe you can create the Joy Boy voice, the Joy Boy energy, the Joy Boy, the Nika wavelength.
He sent out an invite.
I think the easiest explanation is that maybe Joy Boy was within the devil fruit, though. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe the devil fruits are created by like people from the ancient kingdom who were awakened, right? And maybe after they died or after they lost the war, maybe the world government turned them into devil fruits or something. I don't know. Or maybe they just had a cemetery and it turned to a tree and all these. I don't know, something along that line. Like, I don't know.
Sunlight Alliance just figured out my moon god theory.
He said,
it would be cool I think it would be sick if he would coat himself in resin like on Sabaluti, allowing him to fight underwater, also allowing Straw Hats to travel back to Fishman Island with more ease. And see, that's the thing I was talking about. This circles back to the very beginning, where if you could come up with something and you come out with your own way and it sounds so similar to another person, and it's all original ideas, but it sort of just like confirms within it. Yeah. Like I did not think resin when I was coming with Moon God there. I was thinking from like chakra or turns it into rubber, all that stuff. But it makes sense when you look at it from so many different angles.
Yeah.
So guys, I gotta go. It's almost midnight here and I have to work tomorrow.
All right.
I was like going over time was a really good time already. That's why.
All right. Well, thanks. Thank you, Best Generation, for hopping through the chat. We're gonna have to do this again sometime. Next time
For sure.
Because
my girl is gonna stay over next week. oof.
I mean, it could be
such
whenever
a pleasure.
But yeah,
it's gonna be good.
Shout out to Best Gen. Thanks for showing up, bro. Appreciate you.
Okay, anytime was awesome. By the way, guys, it was a nice conversation. Thanks for having me. And I talk to you definitely again, 100%.
Do you want to say anything something what people could expect, where to find you, all that stuff?
YouTube, Best Generation, that's the place. Video's gonna come soon. I kind of edited it today, and sometimes videos turn out so fucking bad that you want to do a retake because you don't want to look like a freaking idiot. And that's what the kind of situation I am right now. So yeah, I wanted to release it tomorrow. Probably gonna be Tuesday instead. So
yeah. So y'all go check out his channel. It will be in the description box. Same with ELiDZ as well.
We gotta have a big hockey conversation one day.
That's
we
for
gotta
sure.
really just
show though, man. I think
I'm
we
gonna
have
bring out my
disagreements, because I have these psycho takes, when it comes to the details, Well, a
That's
completely
the best
opinion that
thing.
you haven't heard before. Yeah.
It'd be boring
So
if we
yeah,
were just here agreeing with each other, just
Yeah,
telling each
yeah.
other the exact same thing.
that's right. It's gonna spice it up.
Well, all
But yeah,
right, man.
you guys have a nice one.
All right, you
Take
too.
care.
Later.
Bye bye.
All right, so we got Desness in the chat. He said, "Hello, fellow pirates. Lovely to see you. Hey, ELiDZ, thanks again. You're the goat." Bluff, what the dogs doing? What the dogs doing, man? We chilling, bro. We out here chilling. We just talking One Piece right now. I'm glad you showed up, man. I'm glad you showed up today. So yeah, it's just me and ELiDZ. But we can still keep the chat going if you know ELiDZ ain't got nothing to do. If you ain't got nowhere to go,
Nah, I got time. All I got is food waiting for me. That's why I was late. I tried to pick up some food and they messed up my order. They had to cook it all over again. I was just like,
all right. Well, I know you probably want to
but
eat soon, so we could talk a little longer.
I'm still ready. If you still want to keep going, I'm down.
Okay. So yeah, hey, I also want to say this to everybody in the chat. I'm thinking of maybe doing something on Saturdays or maybe Fridays, one or the other. Maybe it could be an alternate thing with depending on how my schedule is. But yeah, having something where I could just have a day where I chat with people, right? Kind of like this, like we're doing right now, where it's just we chatting. It could be ELiDZ or maybe some of you guys, especially if you in the Discord, especially for the people in the Discord, because right now I'm streaming this through the Discord, so maybe I have a day where I have like one person come on and we just chat or something. So that might be a thing in the future I do. Change it up, right? And if we ain't got no chapter, we could do something like this. But all right, yeah. What's up, man? I know you probably had some more topics you wanted to, unless you just had some
something
stuff
in chat just like caught my eye.
Okay, what's up?
I feel like we can talk even more about it based off it. It says, "What do you guys think about the Pell is a traitor and works for Emu theory?"
Ooh.
Now that's not something I've really thought about. I think that's sort of interesting in terms of like where could that story go. I don't think there's a lot of evidence in it. But I would like to talk about Alabasta in general. And it's interesting to think about something that was so long ago coming back in the story.
Yeah.
But there's certain things that never went anywhere in Alabasta, and I can't wait to see what's gonna make of that. Do you remember? It was such a subplot that when I rewatched Alabasta, I was like, oh yeah, this was the thing. I didn't even remember it. It was the fact that while Alabasta, Luffy's fighting Crocodile or whatever, there was like a revolutionary army in there.
Yeah.
There was that Viva
Vivi's friend.
Vivi's friend. And
Yeah.
if you watch the thing, that guy never meets Luffy. Like I don't think there's not one instance when that guy meets Luffy. And it's just so weird that
I didn't notice that.
Oda gave that so much attention, yet they never cross paths with the protagonist. So clearly he must be like building something up. Like why would he invest so much story into that just for it to really not affect the protagonist that much? That was just something that caught my eye when I was rewatching it.
I definitely do remember that that arc though. Cause like if any of you guys got Pluto TV, right? It's an app free. It's a free app. Like you can download it now and watch it free. They got like a bunch of channels where like you might have like they have a One Piece channel where all they do is stream One Piece episodes all day. Every day, all day, just One Piece. They got a Naruto channel, they got a anime channel where they got different anime. Like some hours they might have like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, some whatever. But so sometimes like if I ain't got nothing to watch or I just want to play something in the background, I go to the One Piece channel. And a lot of times, usually when I go to it, they're always in the Skypiea arc, the Alabasta arc, the Ennis Lobby arc, or like the East Blue arc. You know what I'm saying? Or it's usually the pre-time skip arcs they're usually in. Like I don't know if I haven't seen any post-time skip episodes, but yeah. So sometimes I'll be watching those. Just and I'll be noticing stuff. I'm like, oh, shoot, I never noticed that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely do. I remember recently watching it, and it was the Alabasta arc. So,
That guy's gonna come back in the story and like save the day or something. He's gonna be like, "Who is he again? I don't think we know this guy."
Right? Just a lot of a lot of characters in this. Like I know it's hard for Oda to really keep up with every single character. You know, like I think he uses us to remember things, right? Or he uses like the One
Yeah,
Piece
he looks at
wiki.
the wiki for like the
Yeah,
moves.
like just make sure he's not forgetting certain characters, right? But the chat says where did I leave off?
Can I read
The
this one? The guy he clarified about the Pell theory
okay, yeah.
before we get into other things. He says basically Pell only voices worries about Alabasta itself and not Vivi, and his headband looks similar to the world government symbol. See, I'm gonna have to look into that. That's interesting. There could be someone who's like cares more about Alabasta than you know being along the lines of Vivi and Cobra. Maybe this guy wants to rejoin the Celestial Dragons or something.
Yeah.
That could be an interesting storyline right there.
Yeah. Desna says, I always think that Luffy calls his straw hat his biggest treasure. And it might be that they keep it because they think it's the treasure of Joy Boy. And it's true, but they don't know that it has zero power. They just assume. I think, oh, okay, I think I know what you're saying. So as far as it being Luffy's biggest treasure, yeah, I think it is because, definitely because Shanks gave it to him, right? He looked up to Shanks. And but I think his crew is probably his real biggest treasure. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely, as far as an object, is definitely his biggest treasure, right? But and as far as you said, they keep that big treasure at Mary Joa because I guess they believe it's Joy Boys or have some ability. Maybe it's the straw hat, right? That Luffy got. But what was you gonna say? Sound like you was gonna say something.
Oh, I was gonna say is it would be funny, like towards the end, Emu like is just beating up Luffy. Luffy's on the ground. He's like, finally, he puts on the hat, and he's like, I got all this power, and then nothing happens.
The big one.
That's something I could see Oda doing. Just like nothing. It's just like, oh wait, this doesn't have any
Luffy.
power at all.
I do kind of like the idea of it being maybe the vessel of Joy Boy, right? Like it being like of his will, right? Because
Yeah,
I honestly like it better
it's
than
a cursed hat.
Uh,
I said it's a cursed hat instead
yeah,
of a cursed sword.
yeah. I kind of like it better than the devil fruit theory, even though I do like the devil fruit theory. But it just shows how special the hat is, right? Now they may not hold any
Yeah,
power.
I actually would prefer that.
Yeah, it may not hold any power, but the fact that this straw hat that Roger once had, right? That that he eventually gave to Shanks, and Shanks gave to Luffy. To me, it's almost the same thing as passing of the will, right? Shanks was never really meant. Shanks was always kind of looked at as the torch passer, right? Like he was kind of he's not really looked at as like the person who's meant to wear the hat, just the person who's meant to give the hat to the right person. Like Roger was the right person at one point. And I kind of look at like I always have this fan theory in my head that at the end of the series Luffy might die, right? Like because I think it's been foreshadowed through the use of his gears that his life is going to shorten. So it could be something similar to Roger where it's like, well, I'm gonna die, so I might as well turn myself into the world government. Maybe he turns himself into like Smoker or Kobe or whatever, and he gives the hat to somebody like maybe Zoro, possibly, or maybe Chopper since he's kind of like the maybe not Chopper, I'm thinking because Shanks was kind of the kid of the crew, and Chopper is the kid of the crew, so I'm kind of making the comparison.
I mean, you can give it to Momonosuke or Otama or something like that,
or it could be Zoro, right? And Zoro gives the straw hat to whoever is meant to hold the will of Joy Boy. Whoever's meant to carry the will of the straw hat, that's gonna be Zoro or perhaps Sanji's responsibility, right? That's what I always kind of looked at. The straw hat was a symbolism of the will of Joy Boy. And you got the person who's meant to have it. Who it's is who's the heir to the hat, and then there's always like a person who's meant to choose that heir, right? Shanks was that person. Roger and Luffy are the inheritors. Shanks would be the chooser, and maybe Zoro would be as well.
But yeah, I would be delighted if it turns out it's not the devil fruit. Because I want that devil fruit to be like, that's Luffy's thing. He turned this lame devil fruit into something that's awesome. Not that it was always special the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. So, let me read the chat. If you got anything you could talk, I'm just gonna read this chat for a little bit, or not for a little bit, but I'm trying to find. It's true.
After what we've seen from the CP0, it doesn't seem like there's a lot left from them. Are you impressed with them? Or are you disappointed?
I'm disappointed for the simple fact, like, damn, can I at least get an Oda box? I at least want to know their names, right? Like, we got Dripper, we got Dripper Scarfino. Like, that's the name we came up with, and that's gonna be his name until we get an official name, right? The one who interrupted Kaido, you know. But I don't know if it's. I just feel as though there's still more for him, right? I believe, like, I'm not saying the whole arc, right? I'm not saying the whole arc, but then again, this might be just their purpose, right? The purpose is to pretty much kind of involve themselves in the fight with Kaido, right? Like, maybe that's just their purpose. Maybe this, you know, whatever happens in Wano is as far as their story goes, because we still got Lucci, right? We still got Rob Lucci.
Yeah.
You know? I don't think we need more Rob Lucci as far as like any more explanation, and we like, his story was told, right? But I feel as though these guys, their stories haven't been told. So I'll be a little disappointed.
In a way, it's like you want to know about them, but at the same time, in terms of storytelling, it's actually thematic. The fact that these characters have been present in the story this long without having a name, that's because they're tools. They're not supposed to have an identity. Exactly. They're supposed to just be used by the world government. They're just an extension of the Gorosei, really.
Yeah.
They just do what they want them to do while, you know, they're not in Mary Joao.
I guess I'm used to Oda at least giving people names, right? Like, you know, at the end of the day.
But isn't that tragic too? When you think about them, the fact that they don't have names, like, they probably have names, but they don't even talk to their colleagues with their names and stuff. Like, it's kind of tragic when you think about who they are as people. It's like, they aren't people. They're just things.
Yeah, that makes sense though. And I've seen theories that they could be possible slaves of
they're definitely slaves.
The celestial dragons. But I kind of think anybody under the world government is a slave to a degree. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing with the celestial dragons is they could be walking down the street and they see you and they're like, I want him. And then people work for him. It's just like, well, I got to do what you say, so we gonna get him. And there's nobody who's going to like do anything otherwise, right? The world is kind of meant for them to be like that, you know. The world that the world government has created, you know. But I want to ask you something. What do you believe the ramifications of Wano will be after we leave? You know, like, what's your theory on that? What's your predictions on?
So, when you look at the logistics, it doesn't make sense for them to open up Wano, because if they open up Wano, then they're opening it up to be attacked by not just the world government, but by pirates and all that stuff. So why would they do that? And especially now, after all this chaos and destruction, it doesn't make sense to open it up. However, Odin said, open up Wano, now's the time. And Odin wouldn't do that to the detriment of his people. It just doesn't make sense. But there must be something he knows that nobody else understands. You know, those pages were ripped out of the journal. Like, that probably has the mystery. If you look at Momonosuke's conflict, it's like, even as a kid, he knows like it doesn't make sense to open it up. And I don't think that's because he's a kid. I think most people would look at it and go, "We shouldn't open this up, not now at least." But it's what he's supposed to. He doesn't know why he's supposed to do it. But he's just supposed to do it.
Yeah.
With that being said, I do think you have to have capable enough people in Wano. I can't imagine all the strong people that was in Wano just leaves.
Yeah.
You need to have some people there that is capable of. Now we don't know how many of these red scabbards are going to survive, but even the red scabbards alone, I don't think are big enough. Hirogoro is at like he's not way past his prime. Like everybody that was going to be strong enough, there's no daimyos left either. I mean, they pretty much all got killed. Like
Yeah.
Yasui was like the last one left. So who's going to be there to protect Wano? Well, I think in an ironic twist, it's going to be Yamato, because her whole story was that she wanted to be free, and she didn't want to. Not only does she want to be free, but she doesn't want to do what her father asked. And her father asked her, "I want you to be here. You're going to lead Wano. You're going to protect Wano." Well, in a twist, Yamato might end up doing what her dad wanted all along, but of her own volition.
Yeah.
And that's a version of freedom. Because if someone tells you to do something and you do something the opposite out of spite, you're actually still doing something beholden to whoever told you, because you're doing it because of the person who told you not or to do something. So if Yamato's idea is like, I have to do this because I got to be my own person, well, she might choose to freely stay in Wano and be its guardian deity, which also so happens to be the Devil Fruit she ate, which is the guardian deity of Wano. So I know a lot of people want Yamato to leave and think she's gonna leave, but I'm of the opinion that I think she's actually gonna stay and help protect Wano, because someone needs to stay and protect Wano.
So-
Someone strong and capable. There's not a lot of people to choose from.
So
You
what
think Law's gonna do it, or a kid, or like? There's not a lot of people they could choose from to actually stay and protect
the Minx
Wano.
could be like an army. But so what you're saying is, real quick. So what you're saying is,
Yeah.
Carrot is going to be the next Straw Hat.
I forgot about Carrot. No, I'm joking.
Nah,
I mean, she
but-
could be a straw hat. I just don't think she's gonna be very important. But maybe she joins a Grant's lead or something.
I think the Minx could stay and be kind of like a protector, right? They're already capable, like base wise. The Minx already capable without the Sulong form. And when you look at this, if let's say Zunisha, because a lot of people believe that Zunisha's kind of like on death's door anyway, right? Like, because Zunisha's old, been walking all this time, probably weak, so it's probably going to achieve what it needs to achieve and then die. If it dies, where do the Minx stay, right? Where do the Minx stay? I think
true.
Since they have a connection with Wano, that would probably be their best place, right? That would probably be the best place for them. They'll probably be looked at as heroes. So as far as having a fighting force, you have the Minx, and then you'll start training new samurai, stuff like that.
Yeah,
but yeah,
Minx are great. They also couldn't hold back Jack, so I don't know how powerful they are. You gotta factor in like how powerful do you need of an army? Yeah, but Jack is Jack too. I mean, he didn't even get beat by like a supernova or a straw hat. Like, he get taken out by a Sulong, like C character, not even a B character, a C character. And Jack has been just disappointing ever since that. That was his one claim of being strong, was really that. But if you got to defend against an admiral, I think you need more than Minx and the Red Scabbard. Like, you're gonna need someone who could, fight against a Yonko.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, I think, well, yeah, never mind, because that's kind of later. I'm saying they could, I get the whole knocking the borders down don't make much sense, and I kind of agree with that. That's kind of, I pointed that out with Momonosuke, the fact that he was able to see that, right? Like, he was, that was kind of some wisdom from a young kid, right? Like, yeah, questioning something his dad wanted, right? Like, you gotta question things, right? You gotta question, even if you have some leader saying, "Yo, I think this is the best move," you gotta be like, I don't know, is it really the best move? Could we not think of something better? But yeah, let me read some of these chats though. It says,
yeah.
Cube says, "It's really going in my thought that Sabo and Vivi will meet up with Luffy. That could happen."
Hmm.
Desmond says, nope, chapter 200 was during that time. Yeah, yeah, like and then they soon as shrine. Andrew said, I don't know why, but I get the feeling Emu's going to be as strong as people expect her or him to be. They Who said that? Hold on, I seen something I wanted to read. Something about Chopper. Is Chopper is older than Luffy?
Oh,
Where was that? Chopper. Man,
maybe in reindeer years he's older than Luffy, but like actual time passing, he's younger than Luffy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't. Yeah, Chopper is the youngest, right? Like I can't remember
Yeah,
how old he is. Uh,
he should be like 15 or something like that.
yeah. Desmond says it could be really that the world government is just trying to do the best, and the big bad is Blackbeard. But I think Emu is, as a villain would be cool too. I think Emu's a villain. It's like why do you why is it important? All right,
I like.
because Emu is pretty much a lie in itself. Like the concept of Emu when he was introduced is a lie. Because the purpose of that throne, right, is that nobody sits in the throne. Because it's a showcase that there is no king of the world. And then when Emu sit there, directly contradicted the message. So why do they feel though the need to lie about Emu's existence? So,
Hmm.
is it some sinister stuff? The world government isn't exactly known for doing good things for people, right? They pretty much support the idea of slavery and subjecting people. So I think Eam is the king of all that. So I wouldn't
Hmm.
say he's a good guy. What was you gonna say?
Yeah, I was gonna say I like what you guys were talking about before I came on. It was about what if Emu has a tragic backstory, or Emu might have he could be like Akainu or she or whatever. Could be like Akainu in the sense of they just really hate like pirates or disorderly or stuff that gets freedom brings chaos, and with that it comes a lot of despair. If someone's free to come on your
Mm,
village and ransack the place, and so maybe Emu is just like, I have to do this. Maybe Emu's like the opposite of freedom, and Emu themselves is literally the least free person in the world, because Emu could only be on Mary Joao for the most part. Like, Emu can't live a life of I'm actually out in the open.
mm-hmm.
So there could actually be some tragedy in the way Emu looks at the world and lives, and
I like how you said that.
that would
I
be
didn't even
interesting.
think of that. Right? Yeah. Cube says, I like the remind how he's also praised by healers that Luffy is built differently. Okay. Yeah, Luffy is definitely built differently. Uh, Lucky for F says, do you think Chopper retains his reindeer's lifespan? Because if so, it's 15 seconds average. Is that what you're saying?
Oh shoot, Chopper's about to die. No, I don't know. I don't know the lifespan of reindeers.
15
That would be
years.
crazy. Like,
Yeah, I don't.
he just
Uh,
dies one day. He's like, oh shit, this is actually the end of my lifespan.
yeah, I don't think that's gonna be the case for a Chopper at least.
Nah, I don't worry about him.
Cube says, I feel that Luffy might suffer the consequences of his taxing powers. I agree with that as well. I definitely agree with that. Desmond says the devil fruit were always the powers as big as the ideas of the user. Basically, if you can think of it with your power, you could do it. So the attacks fit the user so well because they think in their way. I kind of get what you're saying. I'm just a little confused. Uh, Desmond said, EO says, I don't see Chopper dying all of a sudden. I don't see him dying either. Cube said, nope, Chopper has a human lifespan. I mean, I guess you could say that. I could see his reindeer and human lifespan kind of being acute. You know what I'm saying? Like he has both of them. So he might have
Yeah,
extra
that's interesting. Can
1,500.
devil fruit affect the lifespan? I mean, if you look at Brook, in a way, he kind of has more life. If you
Yeah.
look at Sugar, it's not exactly lifespan, but her devil fruit forced her to be a kid. So, there could be something to that where the human devil fruit actually does expand lifespan.
I think it just depends on what the devil fruit is and how it's used, right? You know, like with Luffy's, he uses his devil fruit in a way to shorten his lifespan. You know, like zones, they probably their life, like it probably depends on the combination of the user's natural lifespan and the animal he's taking on. You know, so like a zone devil fruit probably improves your lifespan, just like it increases your endurance or your durability and your attack power and everything.
But what if, and this would be comically tragic, but what if you get something like the hamster devil fruit and you're gonna die within like 5 years because that's their lifespan? Like there's some devil fruit you don't want. You get the fly devil fruit, you die in 2 weeks.
That'd be wild. Yeah, that'd be ridiculous. Desmond says Chopper is the last character I could see dying. To be honest, yeah, I thought you meant he was a reindeer lifespan. I want to know where Rob Lucci comes from. He has a mark on his back. Yeah, I don't know where Rob Lucci comes from. He was pretty much trained from a kid, right? Like he was kind of a slave, so I guess the CP agents are kind of slaves in the, like you're probably taken from as a kid and pretty much trained to be a tool, right? Kind of like what ELiDZ says, right? Lucky for F said, that's what I was asking. Makes sense for him not giving his fruit. Okay. Yeah, you talking about Chopper. Says, and Cube says, I like to see more about the CP0. I feel that them envying Drake was an underrated scene. Feel like a cursed situation. Yeah, I mean, when you're used as a tool, when you're like pretty much raised from as a kid, because we kind of get an idea of how CP9 agents are, right? From a kid, they're pretty much treated as a tool, so it's probably even more amped up as a CP0 agent, because now you're even.
I think, yeah, in the data book, I think they literally say they're brainwashed. Like it's more than just being taught, like, hey, this is how you should live. Like they're literally brainwashed into thinking this is what life is for you. You just are a tool.
Yeah. So Desmond says CP0 is more clown circus than Buggy and his crew. Only making predictions, tipping hats and stuff. Or you say
Think he's out.
Q said, I feel there's more to that. And Desmond said they can only open if it's safe out there. It'll be a huge plot for the world government. Lucky for us, said Jack had a lot of poison gas. Can't hold that against the minx. Yeah, I mean he did kind of.
That is true. The point I was making was that they couldn't even hold back Jack. Like it's more than just losing. They couldn't deal with him because it wasn't like they brought out the poison gas right away. They fought for days, and in fact, the Minx had the advantage. They had the home advantage. They had the numbers, and Inuashi and Nekuashi were tag teaming Jack, and they couldn't take him down. So Jack was actually at a really big disadvantage, and then he cheated. But my whole point is that they couldn't just deal with it. Like it took days, and then they lost.
Yeah. I mean, we know that I feel as though Jack is like Scabbard level, right? Because we know he lost to Ashura Doja, or Ashura Doja was handling pretty well, right? But I also would say that Ashura is probably like one of the strongest of the Scabbards, like top 3.
Yeah, and he had a power boost.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'd probably put like maybe Denjiro and Kinemon. I don't even know if I put Kinemon that high, honestly. Probably.
Kinemon's weird. Sometimes he seems like he's weak. Sometimes he seems like he's really strong.
Yeah. Like, it's hard, man. Like, because I felt as though he was helpless against Doflamingo, right?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, you look at Doflamingo. Doflamingo is probably weaker than somebody like Cracker, right? So now you're saying Kinemon is probably like lesser than.
Around the same.
Yeah. So yeah, around the same. So, but that's also another thing matchup wise, right? Because Doflamingo had a pretty versatile and hard to deal with devil fruit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And Cracker did as well, right? Like I think Cracker's devil fruit was a perfect matchup against Luffy, you know, like because Luffy's a one-on-one fighter, right? You know, so Luffy's just a fighter. He's a hand-to-hand fighter. Where Cracker, somebody like Cracker, who's just creating these warriors to fight for him on a whim, and each warrior is pretty much tough enough to withstand a Gear 4,
Yeah.
right? So
Cracker's tragic because he has to be super strong in an actual group setting. Like that's probably where he shines, but we never got to see him like that. We only see him fight one person or two
yeah,
people and lose. But imagine how strong Cracker would be in an army though,
yeah,
where people can't get to him. He would be a monster.
bro. It's like you could just like, man, having someone like Cracker in the war could definitely be, you know, like just imagine them having like if Cracker came to Onigashima with Big Mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I could see the Allies even winning, bro. Like,
Yeah, it would have been sick. He's so underrated. Like he's just not a 1v1 fighter really, but
yeah,
he's so powerful.
yeah, man. But yeah, Cracker's definitely a unique and you know just his devil fruit, man. Just his devil fruit. Cube says the only person who'd be a possible new member is Yamato. The rest might be part of the Grand Fleet. Yamato fits the theme more the Straw Hats. Yeah, I don't. I kind of disagree with ELiDZ on Yamato standing Wano, but I do believe that you know it could be the case. Maybe he does decide to serve Momonosuke, right? Or maybe he feels though if Momonosuke stays in Wano, he has to stay to protect him as Momonosuke's dad. So I mean, if he really does, if Yamato does live up to this own Odin moniker, right? Maybe he will feel as though he gotta protect his children, so he has to stay in Wano. You know, unless Momonosuke decides to leave, and he's like, "Well, I gotta protect my children, and I gotta leave with them." So, you know, it just depends on how the Odin, his Yamato's Odin's identification affect. You know, how that goes. You know. And then Angel Dream said, not going to be as strong as people expect her to be, or him. I guess talking about Eam, right? I could kind of see Eam being like a character who isn't a fighter, you know, maybe has a strong devil fruit, or just maybe the Gorosei fights on Eam's steed, you know. I don't know, you know. I'm to me, Eam is just such a, you know, it's kind of like one of them X factors, right? Like that's how I look at Eam. He could possibly be like the strongest character there, or Eam could be like a non-fighter with maybe a super OP devil fruit, but maybe the Gorosei fights for him. Now check this out. Here's an idea that I just thought about. What if the Gorosei? Now this isn't a well thought out theory because I literally just thought about this. What if the Gorosei are literally projections of Eam's devil fruit?
Yeah, that would be insane.
Like that's how OP Eam is. That they're like projections of Eam's devil fruit, whatever it is, and they're all like strong as Yonko or something. Like each of them are as strong as a Yonko, right, bruh? That
insane.
Yeah, you know. But look,
I got this idea. Everybody hear it first. Breaking. This theory that I'm working on is that the Gorosei are all related to one another. In fact, each one is a, you know, father, son, father, grandfather, great grandfather, great great grandfather, and like each time they're, you know, whoever's the son is like raising his son to eventually take up when the great great grandfather goes. So that's how they keep the Gorosei,
okay,
you know, almost the same. Like they might even all have the same name and everything. Like the girls say over centuries have always been the same.
Yeah.
They just keep on getting each, child.
Hey, I got an even more extreme take than I just made that I just thought of. Cause now that last take just had me thinking, what if
Hmm.
Eam is the creator of devil fruits? Right?
Ah.
So maybe Eam has the original devil fruit, you know.
Hmm.
And like and maybe he created these devil fruits by using his enemies, right? Like he uses their souls.
Hmm.
He's trapping these souls into a devil fruit. But he could have like the original devil fruit, to where it's like
Hmm.
the creator of devil fruit. Like that's literally, and maybe the Gorosei could be devil fruits, living devil fruits, right?
That would be
Like
cool.
like maybe
They just
kind of like,
straight up are devil fruit. That would be interesting.
yeah, like there are devil fruits living within like something, I don't know, like puppet devil fruits. Maybe not puppet, because then that's like
Mm, I like that
doppelganger or
idea.
something.
Though.
But
No, I get what you're saying though. Like a pup, like a vessel, just like a
yeah,
empty vessel.
yeah, and
So
he,
it's interesting you say that because that theory I was just telling you, the title of that theory is the devil's fruit, which is interesting. Someone also brought that up.
yeah,
That's in French, they kind of say it that way. But that's the title of it, the devil's fruit, and Eem is the devil. It's not
oh,
what you just said, but it's similar. And that's why I
okay, that
typed
makes
it,
sense.
the title it, the devil's fruit.
Hey, I might actually have to like, I might actually look into like do some research to see if there's any, you know what I mean? I don't
Yeah,
know.
if you ever, you got a whole Discord of people. If you ever want to brainstorm, I tell people I like to do a lot of my best brainstorming talking with other people.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked with you before on Discord, and you know, yesterday I had Amir on. Like I would talk to him, and so yeah, whenever you have ideas, that's to anybody in the chat. If you got ideas, share them with people. I know a lot of people we were talking about earlier feel like safeguarded in my mind. Now, if
Yeah,
you talk with other people, you're gonna come up with even better theories because you get to hear other people's perspective and it helps you out. That's my
yeah,
advice. If anybody wants to get into theory making, share them.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could see Eames' ability being like a, like he kind of could do like maybe he could do other devil fruit abilities, right? So maybe like the
Hmm.
Gorosei are kind of like homies almost, right? Like what if the devil, like they're like homies, right? But they're more perfected. Well, I
Hmm.
don't. That might be a little too OP, right? To be able to do all these devil fruits. That might be a little too OP, but on the case that maybe he's like the original, the creator of the devil fruits, and that's his ability, is to be able to uh create abilities and put them into kind of like All for One or something, maybe, or is it One for All? No, All for One, yeah. Like the where
Yeah.
he could take abilities from somebody and put it in
Hmm.
himself, or maybe he could, like maybe the Gorosei are just like, these creations, and he put devil fruits in each one of them, right? I don't know, that'd be wild though, man. That'd be wild. Where did I leave off though, man? I'm trying to think because I know some comments came in. I'm trying to read all your guys' comments, so they can only.
Oh yeah, there was one thing I wanted to expand upon when I was saying the emu and how tragic and the least free. It popped up in my head. One of the things Luffy doesn't like to be referred to as is the hero,
Yeah,
and you know maybe to parallel that, emu might look at themselves as the ultimate hero. Like
he,
I'm the hero of this world. I
oh,
have to save this
okay,
world. I have to be the one to bring order and all that stuff. So I think
yeah,
that could be an interesting direction it could be taken in.
yeah. Okay, so where did I come from? Angel's Room said Rob Lucci's scars come from this one mission he had when he was 12. He got hit by 5 cannons. And then we got Zay55. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the chat, Zay. Zay55. Um, Say he light. He's light.
It's
And
like he lit, but even better.
oh,
I don't know.
uh, uh, I know it's a lot of chat. I probably skipped some, but Lucky for 5 said I heard someone mention the idea that Emu is the actual gods of One Piece, along Sun God Nika.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of think that Emu probably been there since the beginning, right? Because I think Joy Boy came after like Nika, right? I think like Nika is probably the original will that eventually Joy Boy inherited, eventually Roger inherited, and eventually Luffy inherited. I think Nika is that person.
Mm-hmm.
I think Eam might have been there. I feel as though he was there at least with Joy Boy, but I think he could have possibly been there before Joy Boy, right? I think that's possible as well. You know,
Or like Best Generation was saying, maybe they came up, maybe they were literally raised together. They're like
yeah,
twins.
yeah. Which I kind of like that idea. You know, maybe Joy Boy
Mm-hmm.
died to save Eam, right? You know, because though they might have been enemies, you know,
Mm-hmm.
him being the more pure hearted person, he probably was like, you know what, I'll allow you to keep living, even though I know you got
Or
like the world's gonna come in.
maybe
Go ahead.
maybe when Joy Boy died, Emu was his ally, and he gave his life up for Emu, and thought that Emu had the best interest, and maybe at the time Emu did, but over time things just didn't go in the right direction. Maybe
Yeah,
Emu did save the world, and was like, "I saved the world, now I have to lead it. So what do I do?"
yeah.
They're saving the world, but then disrupting whatever order came before. But what do you do after that when there's a power vacuum? Maybe it's a story of Emo being in over his head.
Mm,
Like, I think that'd be so cool to find a way to make Emu actually sympathetic. You look at Naruto, you look at Kaguya, there's nothing to sympathize there. She's just someone who's super powerful and tries to take over the world. It's just so like lame,
yeah,
but there's some you could make a way where Emo's just all powerful, but then you kind of can sympathize with, you know, how they got to that point.
yeah. Like Emu could have been there trying to avoid somebody like Blackbeard coming along, right? And maybe he confused
Hmm.
Blackbeard with Luffy. You know, maybe he think Luffy
Hmm.
is what Blackbeard is meant to be, right? So, Cube said, I don't think so since it's been established that Joy Boy is the devil. Why not call God fruit if Eam was the devil and the creator of the first devil fruit? Well, I mean, I don't know what it would be called. I'm just, uh,
Also, I would say that they say the victors get to write history,
yeah,
or they get to write the narrative. So
yeah,
maybe they could say, "Oh, Joy Boy's a devil," but like, what if they were the devil to begin with? But they're the ones in charge, so they could say, they're the devil.
yeah,
So
exactly.
that's just something to consider too.
Yeah, the victor writes history, or history favors the victor, or whatever. You
Hmm.
know, that's how it's always been through history. We always get the viewpoint of whoever won. Lucky for us
Hmm.
said that still works just in a divine status. Angel's Room said, how old do you think Emu is? I have zero idea, but I will say what Cube said next, 800 plus. I believe he's been there. I he could have been there since the beginning of society, right? He even could be a space alien because we have been introduced to space alien or aliens, right? Like in Nell's chapter story or cover story, he beats space pirates, you know, and they're kind of like tall, kind of slender, like Emu as well, which always kind of I'm like, you know, but Emu silhouetted, so it's kind of hard to really connect. Lucky for F said, like Voice Century old. Angel's Room says, since you guys think she's 800, do you think there's a possibility she was an ally to the Ancient Kingdom? Uh, yeah, I think we kind of say that, maybe it's possible. Maybe she betrayed Joy Boy or something, or maybe she's always just been an enemy to the Ancient Kingdom. I'm not too sure, you know. It came a point where the 20 kingdoms didn't like what the ancient kingdom was doing, so they rebelled. And Eam seemed like he was on the side of the 20 kingdoms at least at one point. That's all we know, right? Then Lucky Forever says could have been the first queen or king of Alabasta. I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. I don't know. It's really nothing to say, you know. Q says, yo, Randy Choi just dropped a huge video. Apparently, we already saw Luffy's awakening in Sabaody. Interesting. And that's pretty much all the chat, caught up on the chat. So, anything else, maybe something was said that stuck out to you, maybe not. Maybe you got something you want to talk about. I don't know if you want to, because I know you want to eat, so I don't want to keep you much longer.
Yeah, I don't really have much more to bring up.
Yeah, I don't have much either. Yeah, if you don't, then you know, I'm trying to think. Potential straw and Wano's. Did we talk about the ramifications of what Wano is going to do to the story overall?
It has to be huge because
Yeah, like I
Oda's
mean,
been hyping it up for so long, and
and that
even when you look back just a few chapters ago, Big Mom was like, "Why is this place so special? Does it have to do with the One Piece?" So it's gonna be big.
yeah. I mean, what are some ramifications of Wano, right? Like that, you know, because I think some topics, because you could come out with topics just off of the like what's after Wano, like bounties, right? You know, I know a lot of people get excited about
Hmm.
bounties. I'm not going to talk about bounties because I can't come up with any specific number of what they're I could probably say Luffy might go up to like the 4 billion. You know what I'm saying? Like he might be up there with Kaido by the end of this. Kaido and Big Mom,
Yeah.
him and possibly even like Kid, Law possibly. Zoro could probably go up to the billions. Sanji probably be close to the billions. Because I think maybe the world that might have to set the world right? Like, because we got like what before Wano the bounties was Sanji was higher than Zoro, so now we know that
Hmm.
Zoro is indeed the stronger one, so that might have to be set right?
Yeah.
So Chopper might get some respect put on his name finally. And then you got some of the stuff going on with the reverie. It's just so much. It's so much stuff that's set up for after Wano, right?
Yeah. Oda got so much in the chamber. Like he's not gonna be starving for hype anytime soon. He got so much ready to just blow everybody away.
I feel like
Incredible.
there's so much set up. It's like how do we tie up all these plot threads in a couple years, right? Because we don't. I
Yeah,
feel as though
it's
Oda might want to
crazy.
close soon. Yeah. So it's like we might
Here's
have
the
to
thing. It's
movies,
like
right? Movies, I guess.
there's so many stories that drag on, and you're just like, they just gotta finish. One Piece is this opportunity of a freaking century where you have this story that is so good, that has so much hype. It's like, what is the need to rush this? Why can't it just keep on going? As long as it's good, let's just keep on going. Just keep on going. He has
Yeah.
so much to tell us. I also look back at something like Dressrosa and Fishman Island. I'm just like, why were those arcs so long? When you could have made those shorter and gave more time to Wano.
Bro, for
Because
real.
this is where we really need
Yeah.
all that
Yeah.
time.
I definitely agree with you on that. And you know, I'm I kind of like the idea, and it's just an idea of Oda not touching on everything if he does some stuff like spin-offs, right? Like if he do
Hmm.
like a spin-off series where they don't. I'm not saying like a spin-off that's going to be just as long as One Piece. No, I talk about spin-offs a lot, and I believe you can make like plenty spin-offs of One Piece, right? But none
Yeah.
of them have to be like 1,000 episodes. Each of them could be like
Hmm.
2 seasons, 26 episodes each, right? And there's plenty of types
Hmm.
of spin-offs you could go with, right? And I might do a stream about spin-offs one day because I feel as though there's
He
plenty of
could literally so he could make like an anthology series where it's just like One Piece Legends, and it just shows for a couple of chapters, maybe something to do with Ace. For a couple of chapters, something to do with Roger. A couple of chapters, something to do
Yeah,
with Whitebeard. He could instantly do something like that and be successful.
yeah. And the thing about it is he doesn't even have to be involved in it. Really, he just get
Mm-hmm.
people
Just give him plot
who
points.
yeah, he just get like the guys who are around him that are very familiar with the story, who knows a lot of the secrets and stuff, and who understands it at least and understands what his goal was, and have them, you know what I'm saying, have them create their own little stories with the world, right? We got Marvel, DC, right? Like One Piece could be just as
Mm-hmm.
big as a Marvel or a DC. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It could be just you. You could touch on the space because it's already been established that there are aliens. You know, there's the space pirates who and they'll pretty much fought off the
Mm-hmm.
moon, bro. Like
How revolutionary would that be for Japanese media if we had 5 ongoing One Piece mangas and then one day you had like an Avengers event where all these main characters got that would be
oh,
insane.
bro, that would be wild. Cause like
And you have a big enough world to do that. You have one in East Blue, a story going on in West Blue. So in just one day, they all come together for something like that would be insane.
and they all could be completely different, right? Like I've said stuff about you
Mm-hmm.
have a character who their whole thing is they're like Robin, right? Where they're after
Mm-hmm.
the secrets of the world, and so while they're exploring, they see they touch on like the Florian Triangle, you know, the mysteries of the
Mm-hmm.
Florian Tequila Wolf. We don't got zero, and like I'm surprised nobody ever talks about Tequila Wolf, like that bridge that world government is building, and they got slaves building it, and it's to connect the different
Mm-hmm.
land like islands and or countries and stuff, and that's
Mm-hmm.
where Robin was sent when after Kuma, right? She was sent to Tequila Wolf, and the revolutionaries liberated it, right? Or at least that area. Man,
Yeah.
it's so many little mysteries that could be touched on, man. Let me finish these chats, and then if you don't have anything else, you know, if you got anything else, you can. If not, we could kind of wrap this up. I know you probably want to eat. Cube says Emu's real name is ELiDZ, the will of D, taking you the
Mm-hmm.
D.
I'd rather
Eli.
be Vegapunk, but I'll take Emu.
Hey, he called me Blackbeard when I was supposed to be like Kaido out this mud. You know what I'm saying? Angel's Room said, "I bet Luffy won't get credit for defeating Luffy or Kaido." I can actually see that as well, right? Like I could maybe they try to say CP0 did it. That could be the case. You know, they keep that a secret. You know. Q said it was great though. Angel's Room said, but we'll definitely get a bounty increase. Yeah, he's definitely gonna get a bounty increase. That's no question. Cube says, I don't see Luffy get 4 billion unless he gets Wino as a territory.
That is a great point. That is actually a very solid point because bounties aren't just about how strong a person is. I think it does factor in the influence they have in the world. Like I bet you Mihawk's bounty probably isn't as high as Shanks, Big Mom's, and Kaido. Even though he might be able to go against those guys,
Yeah,
he probably has a lower bounty because he
I agree
doesn't
with
have
that.
a whole bunch of territories and crew and all that.
And he probably just wasn't as much of a nuisance to the world government, you know, because his whole thing was probably he was probably going around challenging people. You know, he probably wasn't even doing stuff that was that criminal, other than maybe killing people that he challenged, right, or that challenged them. I mean, that
Hmm.
would be criminal right there, but you know, he wasn't going around terrorizing. So yeah, I could concede that, like maybe not 4 billion. You know, I would probably say my only argument is I believe that they see Luffy as a significant threat to where he would it wouldn't necessarily be like they're just doing it because now they see him as an official Yonko. It'd be like, look, we really want this guy dead to like, you know, because he has this devil fruit, you know, if it's indeed the devil fruit they was talking about. You know, it could just be the fact that it's just he's Luffy. and he causes this much problems. You know. Desmond
I
says,
would also,
"Go ahead."
I would say, who's not to say that maybe after this arc, Luffy will have a couple uh territories to claim. First of all, he did say he's gonna take over Fishman Island. We don't know where that went, but he at least said it, so that's a breadcrumb. We know he's in Wano. He wants to help open the border, so he has that. And Wano's huge. To have Wano, that could be enough to give you an extra billion or something.
He would probably have dressed. He would probably have dressed Rosa.
Dressed because he has Leo and the King
Yeah.
Riku in there, so he has that.
And Kaido would be defeated.
And we don't know what happened at the Reverie.
And Kaido could
with
be defeated,
Alabasta,
so he wouldn't have the island no more. But go ahead, what you say?
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say we don't know what went down at the Reverie. Next thing we know, the Alabasta might be saying Luffy claims them. So there could be something.
Does Grand Line territories even matter? The Yonko, because they always make it seem like it's more of a New World thing, like having territory in the New World.
I would say if it's at least on the Grand Line, I think what you mean is a paradise before you get to the New World. But I think if it's in the Grand Line, it should matter.
I'm saying they always, because they always looked at we never really see them talk.
I mean,
about
Fish Line's technically not New World.
Yeah, it's border, but we never really see anything about territory until we got to Fishman Island, and that's just because it's more on the border, right? But like Sabaody,
well, I think that's more because protection. Sabaody is too close to the Marines. They can get there in like 2 seconds.
I mean, Alabasta wasn't. Little Guard. Well, I mean, that's kind of like a unoccupied island other than two giants, right? Yeah, I mean, Water 7, like no Yonko. You know what I'm saying? If anything, it seems like the world government is more present in the Grand Line than they are in the New World. So the world government seem like their territory is more the Grand Line, and where the Yonko seem like they're more present in the New World. You know, I don't know. I just never, you know, I never really see anything about like the Yonko Reach expanding to the New World or even in the other blues, right? Because they always make it seem like you gotta have territory in the New World.
I don't think it's limited to that. You know, you do think that, you know, post time skip is when they actually started talking about the Yonkos more. We didn't really deal with Yonkos in the past, so you can see that. And also, the warlords are more on Paradise side, so that could be a part of it. And there's no more warlords. But Angel said Dressrosa can't be claimed as a territory because it's world government territory. But that's the whole reason of being a pirate, is you're not gonna care about that.
Yeah, but
you wouldn't be a pirate if you actually said, "Oh, I can't claim this because the world government's like."
It kind of is though, like, cause when you think of it like this, Doflamingo runs Dressrosa. He's kind of like the de facto king of Dressrosa before he got beaten, of course, and got arrested.
Mm-hmm.
And he was working for Kaido. So if Kaido had access to Dressrosa, probably freely, right? You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, it was kind of secretly claimed in a way.
Yeah, and if anybody was to mess with Dressrosa and Doflamingo called Kaido, he probably would indeed come, right? So I would say Dressrosa is a territory of Kaido at the very least. Yes, it does have a world government king, and it is part of the kingdoms. I agree with that, but Kaido doesn't care. Kaido don't
also,
care.
the fishermen were invited into the Reverie, and I highly doubt they would have hesitated with Whitebeard claiming the new Fishman Island. Big Mom claimed Fishman Island, and they still invited them to the Reverie.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's like you can't. I mean, first of all, pirate's not gonna go, "Oh, I can't do it," because if you're already an outlaw, like you're not gonna sit here and be like, "I can't do it." But also, I don't think the world government can't tolerate it, at least.
Yeah. And when you look at it, like when we look back at Punk Hazard and like early time skip arc, they were making it sound like the G5 Marines or the G3 Marines.
Hmm.
people who Smoker was in charge of. Like that was really like the
Yeah,
first.
Virgos used to be in charge.
Yeah, like that was really the first and only Marine presence that they really had in the New World, you know, and that's what
Hmm.
made G whatever so special. That not many Marine, there wasn't a heavy Marine presence in the New World, you know. So, uh, Angel's Room said, Angel's Room said Mihawk probably going to have a first commander bounty. Yeah, I could see something between like a commander and a Yako. So I could probably agree with that. Cube said Alabasta 2. Angel's Room said Dressrosa can't be. Oh, yeah, we already read that. But what was you saying?
And shout out to Desnes for feeding his girlfriend.
I'm back. Was hungry. She is hungry. That's not good. Shout out to Desnes and Desnes fed girlfriend, who got some food in her stomach. So, that means, she'll be nice to Desnes now. And that means Desnes will be happy. He said, Desnes says, happy wives, happy life. Shout out to Desnes. All right. But yeah, you got anything else?
No, it was a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me, and thank you so much for showing up yesterday. That the conversation that was had yesterday was great. Everybody, just instantly got into, that's the power of One Piece. Like, I don't think you've met either of those guys
I
yesterday,
haven't.
but we all know One Piece, and that was enough to just, get the spark going right there.
Make it click, man. Make it click. But yeah, so man, shout out to Best Gen for coming through the stream today, being part of it for 2 days in a row, right? 2 days in a row. Shout out to ELiDZ, and I appreciate you inviting me to your stream. Shout out to you for that. Shout out for you to making it. I know this was kind of like last minute, me inviting you. I thought it was a good time because Best Gen was here, and
Hmm.
you
Yeah, I'm
know
so glad I got to talk to him.
you was somewhat available, so that was good. That was good. Hey guys, I'm thinking of probably doing more of streams like this where it's just actual discussion. I mean, I know a lot of y'all know me for the reaction streams I do. Some of y'all might know me for the chapter discussions I do, or both, but whatever. Uh, I'm kind of wanting to add this for like maybe where I do this once a week. Either maybe Saturdays or Sunday or Fridays or Saturdays, or if I don't have a chapter that week, I might do it on Sundays. You know, but yeah, and this might be something I might open up to you guys as well. If one day you guys are available, y'all want to hop in and chat. Yeah, so
Yeah,
and
Cube got some great ideas. I want to see him one day on the stream. He
yeah,
has
I
a
know.
lot of good theories.
Yeah, Cuban ragging on me, man. He been harping on me for not having him in the. I'm gonna have Cube, man. Look, how about this, Cube? How about this? If I don't know you still in the chat, but if you're not in the chat, I'll probably just holler at you on Discord. Maybe next Saturday, man. It could be something where we do a stream, man. I could get you in the stream. And I know Shane Burns also wants to he's looking to start his YouTube journey, right? I think he wants
Hmm.
to do one with his daughter, which is cool. I think that would be dope. So Shane, if you get this, if you see this, maybe this could be a start. Maybe this could be a start, right? So get you a microphone and the camera, or your phone, your cell phones. Cell phones work just as well. But yeah,
And
anyway,
if you want any advice, you could message me like, oh, what do you do for equipment or audio editing and stuff like that?
yeah, yeah. This mic that I got right here, I got this. I actually got this mic right here. It's called a Blue Yeti, right? A Blue Yeti, which is I forgot how much did I pay for this. It's relatively cheap. I think about $100 or so. And I got a combination with the camera and the mic for I think less than 200. I think it was like 150. So I got the webcam, which is a Logitech, and I got this Blue Yeti, and I think I got it for like less than 200. You know, a microphone and a camera. This ain't even the best microphone. You know, I'm kind of looking forward to getting a SM7 Bravo, which is those podcast microphones that you see a lot of Joe Rogan use it. If anybody's familiar with Joe Rogan, you know, it's like a black microphone with this big, like looks like a cotton thing, but you know that's where the mic part is. Angel's Room said, or no, Desmond says, awesome stream. I have to watch the part I missed. I have to rewatch it. Angel's Room said, yeah, but Fishman think happened 10 years ago. You mean the arc? Fishman Island arc? I think that happened earlier in the same year, if that's what you're saying.
I think he's saying the invitation to the Reverie
Oh, okay.
10 years ago in the story's time.
Yeah. And he also said they were invited 10 years ago. They can't just take it back after 10 years. I mean,
they're the world government. I think they can do whatever they want. They can be like, nah, I don't want you.
Desmond says, I can recommend ELiDZ advices. or he's saying he's recommending your advice. And Angel's Room said, great stream. So yeah. Hey, I appreciate you for stopping through the stream, man. It's always good having you, man. You're always welcome here. You know what I'm saying? And anytime you need me, you just let me know. Just give me a little, you know what I mean? Just give me a little advance, a day or so, you know. But even if you give me a short notice, I'll probably be available. As long as I don't have a streamed already scheduled, you know, for the time you're asking me, I'll probably hop on if you need me. Cube said, great stream, guys. But yeah, you got anything else you want to holler out your YouTube and any social media you want people to know?
Yeah, no, just check out my YouTube channel, my past theory vids, catch up on understanding hockey. I'm about to like go into somewhat hibernation, not really, but I'm not uploading any videos. That's sort of what I told to myself. Maybe I'll do streams, but I'm just gonna keep on working on understanding hockey. I can't keep on delaying that. I've been working on it for so long. I just gotta really, put all my ideas together and finish that video. So yeah, I'm just gonna be working hard on that.
Yeah. His and guys, if you want to know where his channel, if you want an easy way to get to his channel, I have the link to his channel in the description box, as well as Best Generations channel. So y'all make sure y'all go to their channels and subscribe, and go check out their content as well as make sure if you haven't yet, make sure you like this stream. It's been a good stream. I had two great, wonderful guests that think very similar. And make sure you again, like the video, hit that subscribe button and that bell for notifications. Follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, and on my Facebook. Also, if you're looking for a One Piece community to be a part of, we have the Discord and the Facebook group as well. And if you want to be a part of a stream, maybe in the future when I'm doing like inviting you get like guests, Discord is probably where I'm gonna start doing my FaceTimes with people. So make sure you're a part of the Discord at the very least, right? But yeah, Cube said, don't worry, same with my Nami theory to keep on working. Yeah, and I got some theories that I want to work on. And this stream here kind of gave me some ideas, especially with the whole Eam thing, right? But yeah, that's all I got, yo. Shout out to let me give you guys some shout outs. Shout out to Cube, shout out to Pogi Biscuit. Shout out to Shane Burns. Shout out to Lucky 4F. Shout out to I already said Shane Burns. Shout out to Angel's Room. shout out to Desness. I know Desness was here. Shout out to Desness. Shout out to Sunlight Alliance. He makes great content. Y'all make sure y'all go hit him up. I kind of want to get Sunlight Alliance on the stream one day as well, man. Yeah, so y'all go holler at Sunlight Alliance and say, look, man, you got to get on one of the Bluff guy. You got to get on one of the show on the streams one day. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I know there was a couple more people that I'm, you know what I mean, some new people that I feel as though I'm kind of forgetting. My bad, bro. You know, Zay 55. Shout out to Zay 55. And I think that was it. I think that's the last person I think I forgot. Oh, Lucky. I thought I said Lucky.
Yeah, you said Lucky. You did.
Yeah, I thought I said, because I know Lucky was here heavy. You know, if I didn't say Lucky, shout out to Lucky too. I'm pretty sure I said it though. But yeah, shout out to all you guys, man. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody who watched the stream, even if you didn't chat. Shout out to you for checking us out, man. But yeah, I'm out of here. Y'all be easy. It's your boy Sean P, the Bluff guy. Hey, peace.